Friday night baseball in Saugerties. The Stallions are winners of 7 of their last 9 games, including a 4-3 victory against the Boonville Lumberjacks just last night. The Oneonta Outlaws come into town losers of 9 of their last 10, looking to defeat the Stallions for the first time this season. Welcome inside to our Archtop Fiber pregame show. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. And Henry, sun is out, birds are chirping. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Yeah, it's a hot one out here, and that tracks just like the Stallions offense so far this season.
Coming into last night, the Stallions offense had been on fire. A team batting average of over 300, but against the Lumberjacks last night, Henry, it was a slow start.
It was a slow start. Justin Ford got the scoring start early, scoring 1 run off a single in the first inning, but then they allowed Boonville to take a 3-1 lead and went quiet until that 6th inning.
They didn't score until the 6th, like you said, but the Stallions came back alive in the 7th, and it was courtesy of Jamie Z. He was responsible for both runs in that half inning.
Of course, he had that pinch hit opportunity coming in for Justin Ford, single, brought in a run, and then he also pushed Reese Maroney to third base, and then an error on the Boonville Lumberjacks gave the Stallions the lead and the victory.
Z came in, Henry, like you said, he pinch hit, got the RBI tying hit, and his stolen base was the big difference in that inning, allowed Reese Maroney to score. But the Stallions offense as a whole, Henry, they win 4-3 last night against the Lumberjacks. They've been raking these past 2 weeks.
Yes, they have, and they dropped a doubleheader matchup against Amsterdam Mohawks on Thursday, but other than that, they have been incredible. They had a 6-game win streak going into that pair of games on Thursday, and they just seem like they are one of the best teams in the East Division right now in the PGCBL.
Now flipping to the pitching side, Stallions only used 2 pitchers last night. Marciano Neglia, he looked pretty good through the first 4 2/3, only gave up 3 earned.
Yeah, he did look good, but, he did give up those 3 earned runs, which put the Stallions in a bit of a bad spot, and then they wanted to check out a new arm, bringing in Virgil Heath, who ultimately ended up with the win.
Heath dominated. He gets credited for the win, like you said. The final 4 1/3 innings pitched scoreless, and our sideline reporter Hannah Tampassis caught up with him after his big outing last night.
I'm Hannah Tampassis, and alongside me, I have player of the game from yesterday's game against the Boonville Lumberjacks, Virgil Heath. Now, first off, congratulations. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. Got the win.
Now, you had 5 strikeouts in just 4 innings. What was working well for you out on the mound?
I got my changeup going and then my breaking ball going really early. So after that, I was just able to get guys off balance and start getting some strikeouts.
Now, as we are a majority through the season, what would you say is your highlight as a Stallion so far?
So far, probably like off the field when we went to the Yankees game, and on the field the first time I closed against Amsterdam. That was pretty fun, pretty important games.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and good luck at your game tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Hannah. And Henry, Virgil was just dominant all night last night.
Yes, he was. He's one of various Stallions pitchers coming alive as we approach the back half of the season, as we're in the back half of the season. And this pitching staff for the Stallions has really proven itself to be one of the best in the league.
Just the 3rd time all year that the Stallions have only used 2 pitchers and gotten a victory in a full 9-inning game. But we're going to take a break right now on the Archtop Fiber pregame show. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to the Archtop Fiber pregame show. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. And Henry, just about a week ago, the All-Star selections were announced for the PGCBL, and the Stallions had 5 players, but 3 of those guys were in action last night against the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, and 2 of them were responsible for half the scores last night. Really, 3/4 of the score if you include Jamie Z's stolen base that led to the error, that led to the game-winning run. But Justin Ford, he got the scoring start in that first inning, as we mentioned earlier, and he has been red hot for the Stallions. He leads the league in RBIs and in batting average right now. now.
Jamie Z as well. He was responsible for 2 runs in the 7th. He leads the PGCBL in homers, and then Travis Hobbin-Siefken, he's top 5 in RBIs as well, 2nd in the league in home runs. And the one pitcher for the Stallions was Jace Van Valkenburg. Henry, he's been really good all season long.
Yeah, he's just looked good on the mound. He looked like he's been in control. And we're going to keep talking about it as the season goes on, as we get closer to the playoffs, just how good this pitching staff has become and how they continue to improve throughout the year.
Well, after being selected to this prestigious award, I wonder what they had to say about being All-Stars.
It means a lot. It's a pretty cool opportunity to be an All-Star. They saw how I've been playing this summer, and it's honestly pretty cool. Mostly just the team atmosphere. It's pretty easy to play with the team, what you enjoy, and the teamwork and the bond, what you're making with new guys. So means a lot. I mean, that means we have a lot of good players, and like you could rely on your teammates a lot. And yeah,
it's a great honor, especially in this league with a bunch of great players. I'm just truly blessed. Thank you to my coaches for allowing me to be here, and I'm just super happy that I'm an All-Star. Definitely just refining my approach at the plate. I'm pretty confident on defense, but now facing some college arms as an incoming freshman, just refining my approach, getting good pitches to hit, and that's pretty much it. Just refining my approach at the plate, and that's led to a bunch of success. It's pretty cool to be around a bunch of the older guys, getting used to what college is going to be like, but these guys are great. We got a great group, and roll ponies.
Thanks, Jim.
It feels great. A lot of good competition in this league, and it's good to, get recognized by the league as one of the best players. I think there was a lot of guys on our team that were also selected, and they deserve it just as much. So, I think we've talked about it, I think before, just seeing pitches early in the count. A lot of times hitting with guys on base makes it a lot easier too. Coaches have been working through a lot of swing stuff, and just really good team camaraderie, makes you feel comfortable in the box and excited to show up to the field every day.
it means a lot, especially to represent this town. Being from here, it's a great honor, and hopefully we can go out and just keep winning ball games. Just everyday reps, even on the off days, just going in, getting a work in, and just staying consistent through it all. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's something I used to come to these games when I was a kid, and it's just awesome to get to experience this every single day.
Thanks, Jason.
Welcome back inside to the Archtop Fiber pregame show. Henry, those 4 All-Stars for the Stallions have been the backbone of this team the entire summer.
Yes, they have, and you have core guys like Travis Hobbin-Siefken and Justin Ford who have been here since the start. And then you had some later additions like Jamie Z who have just bolstered this offense throughout the year.
Well, we're going to see how those guys do on the other side of this quick break here on the Archtop Fiber pregame show against the Oneonta Outlaws, who are playing the Stallions right here at Cantine. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Archtop Fiber pregame show. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. And Henry, the Stallions have their 6th meeting of the season with the Oneonta Outlaws here tonight, a team they've dominated all year.
Yeah, whether it be at home or away, this is a Stallions team that has just found a way to pull out these great wins against the Outlaws, but they're not alone in that fact. The whole league this year has been pulling out big wins over Oneonta.
The Stallions have dominated the Outlaws in both hitting and pitching. A run differential through the first 5 games, 47-13 in favor of the Stallions.
And that makes sense because this is an Oneonta team that's 14th in hits, 14th in runs, 13th in OBP. They just struggle all year on the offensive side.
And one of the games between these two teams up at Damaski Field in Oneonta has yet to be finished. It's bottom of the 5th inning. Stallions lead 4-1 when the rain came down and ruined everything.
Yeah, and that's happened a couple times for the Stallions this year. Weather's had to force some games to be postponed, but I expect when it's resumed that the Stallions will pick up right where they left off and win that game.
And a big reason for that was the starting pitching. Matt Drillings went 2 hitless innings, and then Daniel Mochio came in, another 2 hitless innings. The Stallions, despite only giving up 1 run through the first 4, have not surrendered a hit in that one.
Yeah, and this pitching team, we keep talking about it all year long, how they're getting better, how they're doing great against these hard opponents, but then against the Outlaws, a team that struggled all year, you expect this performance from the pitching staff.
Well, now looking forward to tonight, the Outlaws still sit in the bottom 3 in on-base, batting average, and slug. This is a team, Henry, that just has not had the offensive juices flowing this summer.
No, they just haven't found the answer. And it's hard for the Outlaws because they got off to a slow start this year as well. They had a lot of games postponed, which is a weird way to get the season started, and they just haven't been able to find the rhythm all season long.
4 of their first 10 games were canceled due to weather, including one of those was against the Stallions. So Saugerties looks to take advantage of an Oneonta team that sits in last place in the PGCBL at 4-26. But Henry, let's take a look at the PGCBL as a whole. The Stallions are only 5 games back of the first place Amsterdam Mohawks.
Yeah, they're looking to be the second team in the division to reach 20 wins on the season so far, and they can definitely do that tonight with a matchup against Oneonta.
But going back to last night, Stallions defeated the Boonville Lumberjacks 4-3 in what could be a big swing of the standings. Boonville sits in 3rd now, a whole game and a half back behind Saugerties.
It is a big win. Providing your team with cushion like that is essential going down the line for not games like tonight, but games in the future when you're facing the Amsterdam Mohawks and you're not sure who's going to come out on top.
And then the Oneonta Outlaws sit at the bottom, 19 and a half games back of the first place Amsterdam Mohawks. But Henry, before we get to first pitch, it's draft night in the MLB. The first 100 picks are going to be made tonight, and one of Saugerties' own, Ethan Conrad, could be drafted tonight, Henry.
Yes, he is projected to be drafted tonight, and it should be an exciting one for Stallions fans who will be on the edge of their seats to find out the results of the draft.
Conrad played for the Stallions, Marist, and then this past spring up at Wake Forest before a season-ending injury. Limited his season to only 8 games, but we wish Ethan Conrad the best of luck tonight in the MLB draft. You only get drafted once, so congratulations if what could be a great night here at the stable deck of Cantine Field. Well, that's going to do it for the Archtop Fiber pregame show. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipsman. We've got baseball to play here at Cantine. Stallions versus Outlaws. First pitch is right now. Sunday night baseball in Saugerties. What's up, everybody? Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. The Stallions are taking on the Oneonta Outlaws. Stallions fresh off a 4-3 victory against the third-place Boonville Lumberjacks last night. The Outlaws, though, Henry, it's a way different story for them. 4-25, they're in last place in the PGCBL.
Yeah, this season just has not gone how the Outlaws had imagined it would. They're bottom 5 in hits, runs, OBP, and they've just been struggling all year long.
The Outlaws are losers of 9 of their last 10 games. During that stretch, they've been outscored 32-80. But, Henry, going over to this Stallions team, this is a Stallions squad that's been getting hot over the past 2 weeks. They're winners of 7 of their last 9 games. The only 2 losses are to the Amsterdam Mohawks up in the doubleheader a couple days ago.
Yeah, before those pairs of losses on Thursday, they were looking unstoppable, a 6-game win streak, and they weren't just coming out of these close games, they were crushing the competition. Really, the only close game I can really remember was that 2-1 or that 3-1 victory over the Amsterdam Mohawks.
Just last night, the Stallions beat the Boonville Lumberjacks 4-3 in a game where they were actually out-hit for the first time in the last 2 weeks, 12-6. Boonville left 14 runners on base. Virgil Heath got the final 4 and 1/3 innings pitched. He only gave up 2 hits, no earned to get the win and the save against the Lumberjacks. Sean Dertinger is the starter for the Stallions tonight. First pitch from him is lined in play down the right field line. George Baker fields and will tag Kaz Uhara for out number 1 on pitch number 1 here on Ethan Conrad night here at Cantine Field.
Already eliminating a dangerous batter, Uhara, the second highest average on the team, batting .292, one of the only consistent batters on this team, and they've already taken him out of the game.
Well, let's take a look at that Outlaw lineup. Matthew Carrera hits behind Kaz Uhara, then Dane Richards in the 3 spot with Zach Porter in the cleanup spot. Ethan Wirtz, Lorenzo Camilleri at 5 and 6. Owen Burnsworth recently joined the team. He's only played 3. This is game number 4. For the Outlaws, Brendan Connolly and Zachary Robinson round out 8 and 9. For the Outlaws, Carrera in a no-ball, 1-strike count against Sean Dertinger. The kick and the pitch misses outside 1-1. Henry, in his last and only start of the season, Dertinger was terrific.
Yes, he was. 5 innings pitched. They let him go a long distance for his first outing of the season. 4 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, and 3 hits in that first and only outing on the year. He's definitely showing what he can do for this Stallion squad.
Fires in another strike, this one with the fastball. And Dertinger, last time he pitched for these Stallions, he only had 1 walk and had 4 strikeouts. And this was a guy who pitched for the Stallions 8 times this last summer in 2024, and he only had 12 strikeouts. This one is flied into short left center field. The shortstop, Reese Maroney, is camped underneath it and makes the play for out number 2 here in the top of the first inning. We got to see plays from Baker and Maroney, so let's take a look at the rest of the Stallions infield. Ryan King, Griffin Crane, and Dylan Fitzsimmons in the outfield left to right. It's Comiskey at third, Reese Maroney at short, Jamie Z at second, George Baker at first. Logan Sanchez is doing the catching with Sean Dertinger, the right-hander from SUNY Oswego, toeing the slab for start number 2 here in the summer of 2025. He now greets Dane Richards. First pitch to him is a big swing and a miss for strike 1.
Handled Carrera really well, getting ahead in that count, 1-2, and then forcing the pop fly. Now he's facing the most dangerous batter in the lineup, Dane Richards, who's batting .300 on the year.
The kick and the pitch from Dertinger is popped foul, no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the first. And Henry, you brought up Richards. This is a guy who's played in the most games for the Outlaws. He's played in 26 of the team's 29. Leader in batting average at .300, 24 hits through 80 at-bats. A do-it-all guy for this Outlaws squad. The only hitter in this Outlaw team above .300. He takes upstairs 1-2.
You know, a team that's seen a lot of players depart over the last few weeks. Dane Richards has stuck with them through thick and thin.
Sean Dertinger looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Up, strikeout number 1. The kick and the pitch misses upstairs. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Dertinger is a guy last summer for the Stallions who was reliable as heck. 26.2 innings pitched across 8 different games. Pitched to an ERA of 2.7. The 2-2. Fouled off to the netting behind home plate, so we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the first. Daniel Richards in the batter's box.
Looked like Richards just came under that one. Could have been a base hit there. But the Stallions caught a lucky break and fouled away.
Richards is a guy who doesn't strike out much either. Only 17 in 26 games played as an Outlaw this summer. The 2-2 pitch. Once more, flied away foul. This one right over the Outlaw dugout and out of play. So count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last night against the Utica Blue Sox, Richards was in the lineup. He hit second, went 1 for 4 with a walk and a run scored. Oneonta played at 6, but Utica scored 12 last night. The 2-2. Lined foul. We'll do it again. 3 straight foul balls and a 2-2 count from Richards.
Dertinger made quick work of Uhara and Carrera, but now he's forcing this battle at the plate with Richards. It's going to be interesting to see how he overcomes this early obstacle and takes away this batter from the Outlaws lineup.
Still 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning is Sean Dertinger. The wind, the kick, and the pitch misses way inside. Now count goes full, 3-2. Looking at the first inning for the Stallions last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks, they allowed 2 runs in that first frame. They only scored 1. Stallions would use 2 runs in the 7th that propelled them to the 4-3 victory. Andy Perez and Carter McKay both had solo shots for the Lumberjacks in the first just last night against starter Marciano Neglia. Full count pitch is popped up short into right center field, and that will fall for a 2-out single. The right fielder Dylan Fitzsimmons fields it on the ground, and Richards has the first hit of the ball game, a 2-out C&I single off Dertinger.
Well, he faced the best batter in the lineup, and he lost in their first matchup. But now he has a chance to go against Zach Porter, who is still one of the better batters on this team and still could be dangerous.
Zach Porter has played in 25 of the 29 games, and Henry, you mentioned him being dangerous. He has 4 doubles, which leads this Oneonta squad, hitting .275, and has started all the games he's played in. First pitch from Dertinger is low for ball 1.
He's also the only player in this starting order that's had, or the only other player besides Dane Richards who's had 80 at-bats. So he's been experienced. He's been with this team for a while now, and he knows how to get involved in these games.
And he's done very well. Like we said earlier, hits .275 this summer for the Oneonta Outlaws. The 1-0 misses upstairs. Now 2-0. This Outlaw lineup as a whole looks very similar to last night. 8 of the 9 guys in the starting lineup for the Outlaws here tonight played last night against the Utica Blue Sox, where Oneonta dropped it 12-6 up at Donovan Stadium last night. Their 6th straight loss of the season. The 2-0 from Dertinger misses outside. Now 3-0.
Really seeing 2 sides of the same coin. The Stallions, who had a 6-game win streak recently, and then the Outlaws, who just couldn't find a way to win recently.
Three balls and no strikes with 2 outs. Top of the first, Dertinger kicks and fires. There's strike 1 to Porter.
Gonna have to see him fight his way back in this count after seeing him jump ahead in the early counts against Uhara and Carrera.
And Dertinger got 2 quick outs. Uhara swung at the first pitch and hit a dribbler to George Baker over at first. And Carrera, it was the 3rd. Porter lines this one, and it will get down for a base hit. Stopping at second is Dane Richards, and the Oneonta Outlaws are set up with an RBI opportunity after back-to-back singles with 2 outs for the catcher, Ian Wirtz.
This is a much more manageable batter coming to the plate. He's only batting .228 on the season. 18 games played. He's had experience 57 at-bats, so you know he struggled on the year. Dertinger has to attack this batter.
This is Wirtz's 19th game as a Stallion, and like you mentioned, an Outlaw. And like you mentioned, Henry, only a .228 batting average. 13 hits and 57 at-bats. Was hitless last night against the Utica Blue Sox. The first pitch from Dertinger misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Despite going hitless against Utica last night, Wirtz did drive in 2 RBIs. He now sits at 10 this year. third most on the team behind Clark and Kohler. Jace Kohler not in the lineup tonight for the Outlaws. The 1-0 from Dertinger is a big swing and a miss for strike one.
Just attack the center zone with that fastball, and evening up the count at 1-1.
Dertinger got the first two guys out on a total of 5 pitches. Since then, he's thrown about 15 to the next 3. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball lands in there for a strike. Dertinger now in 3 straight 2-strike counts. Richards and Porter, who are on second and first respectively, both had 2-out 2-strike singles. Sets up Wirtz, who's now in a 2-strike count himself. The kick and the pitch from Dertinger is lined into left field for a base hit. Richards rounds third and stops at third. Throw is cut off by Casey Comiskey, the third baseman for the Stallions, as Ryan King throws in a laser. 3 consecutive singles for the Outlaws. Brings up Lorenzo Camilleri with the bases full of Outlaws and 2 outs in the top of the first.
A smart decision by Richards holding up there at third. I think he definitely would have been caught by Logan Sanchez over there at home. Now Dertinger just has to slow things down a little bit. He started off this game quickly, got 2 outs, but now these back-to-back-to-back singles. He just needs to calm down and find the zone.
He's going to have a talk with catcher Logan Sanchez. He did not play against the Boonville Lumberjacks last night. But Henry, going to Sean Dertinger, this was a guy who really didn't have to pitch in a jam against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs the last time he pitched. The only run he allowed was a solo shot to Joey Calabretti. So this is definitely a new spot, a pressure situation for Dertinger to work out of.
And it's a good opportunity for the Stallions coaching staff to see how Dertinger adapts to this situation. Anything will result in a score. Any kind of base hit will result in a score. So how he gets out of it will tell you a lot about how he plays in these big-time moments.
Dertinger went 5 innings against the Diamond Dogs. The Stallions 10-run ruled Mohawk Valley 11-1 right here at Cantine the last time Dertinger pitched. Working out of the windup, he misses way upstairs. Nice snag from Sanchez behind home plate to keep Richards over at third. Lorenzo Camilleri stepping into the batter's box for Oneonta. This is only his 5th game as an Outlaw. Through his first 10 at-bats, only has 1 hit. Looking for his first RBI as well. A great opportunity to put the Outlaws ahead early and pick up RBI 1 and 2 with a ball to the outfield. The 1-0 from Dertinger, fouled away for strike one.
Something to keep an eye on as we progress further in this game, and even here in the first inning is just how many pitches Dertinger's going to go through in this start. We might see a much shorter outing on the mound because he's going deep here into the first.
And this is a Stallions team, Henry, that has a lot of baseball coming up. They have a doubleheader against Glens Falls tomorrow. They only had to use 2 pitchers last night. Marciano Neglia and Virgil Heath combined to go the full way, only allowing 3 runs total. The 1-1. Big breaking ball lands on the inside corner, 1-2. Now it's 4 straight 1-ball, 2-strike counts for Dertinger against the Outlaws. The last 3 were all singles. Richards lined a base hit to right, and then Porter followed it up with a single up the middle. Wirtz knocked one through the third base side for a base hit, sets up Lorenzo Camilleri with the bases loaded. The kick from Dertinger. In there, first strike 3. Sean Dertinger gets out of the bases loaded jam with a strikeout looking from Lorenzo Camilleri. We're going to the bottom half of the first. Stallions still knotted at 0 with the Outlaws. keep chugging. Welcome back to Canton. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. Bottom of the first inning, Stallions put up a 0 after Sean Dertinger allowed 3 straight singles, but gets out of it with a strikeout of Lorenzo Camilleri. So the Outlaws leave the bases juiced in the top of the first, allowing the Stallions offense the opportunity to take the first lead of the game. Griffin Crane will lead things off. Following him is Cameron Carroll, the extra hitter, Reese Maroney, George Baker, and Jamie Z, the heart of the order. 3, 4, 5 for the Ponies tonight, with Dylan Passo, Ryan King, Casey Comiskey. 6 through 8, Logan Sanchez doing the catching, hitting ninth, and the number 10 hitter in the Stallions lineup is Dylan Fitzsimmons, the right fielder. He played last night as well against the Boonville Lumberjacks. But the guy these Stallions are going to be facing, Henry, is Alex Burciaga, making his 7th appearance this summer.
I'm excited to see how this Stallions offense starts off the game. We've seen them get off to a slow start in a couple games throughout the last few weeks, and honestly throughout the whole season. And though their offense has been so effective, we don't see them come alive really till the 4th, 5th, 6th inning. We saw that the other night against the Boonville Lumberjacks when they scored in the first and then went scoreless until the 6th, but eventually took the lead and won the game.
Stallions have been outscored by 5 in the first inning alone over these past 3 games. So like you said, Henry, great opportunity for the Ponies to jump out in front against Burciaga, who comes into tonight with a 5.68 ERA. Griffin Crane takes strike 1 from him. Staying on Burciaga, though, Henry, he's 0-3 record. He's pitched 12 2/3 innings to a 5.68 ERA. The kick and the pitch is lined foul out of play for strike 2. Excuse me, a diving play from Burnsworth out in left field. I thought that ball was going way foul, excuse me. Owen Burnsworth with the diving play over in left. For out number 1, Robin Crane of a base hit.
An unlucky break, having Crane taken down so early. He is so dangerous on the bases, and how he utilizes his speed to mess with the minds of pitchers.
Following Crane is Cameron Carroll. He's the extra hitter for the Ponies here tonight.
Something we've seen the Stallions do a lot lately is use these 10 hitters instead of that traditional 9-batter order that they did throughout the beginning of the season.
Carroll now down 0-1, and Henry, you brought that up. It's now 6 straight games, 5 of the last 6, where the Stallions have used the extra hitter. He bounces one toward the second baseman off the pitcher. Robinson fields and fires over to first in time for out number 2 in the top of the first. Alex Burciaga, like how Sean Dertinger did in the top half, 2 outs on only 5 pitches here in the first inning.
It looked like Carroll had a chance to beat out that slow roller. I couldn't tell if Burciaga maybe tipped that ball and made it more difficult for the second baseman to reach and then throw over to first, but ultimately Carroll being sent down.
Reese Maroney now steps in. He's the shortstop for the Stallions today. He takes strike 1 from Burciaga on the fastball. This is game number 20 as a Pony for Reese Maroney. Through the first 19, he's hit .306, 19 hits, and 62 at-bats. The 0-1, nubbed foul, no balls, and 2 strikes.
He didn't have the outing he was looking for last night against Boonville. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He did find a way on base. He was hit by a pitch and actually made the game-winning run to home, but still looking to get that back going tonight.
An error from the Boonville catcher after Jamie Z stole second, allowed Maroney to come in and score, and that run proved to be the difference last night for the Stallions. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3, Maroney goes down swinging to end the first inning. 0-0 from Canton. Sean Dertinger and Burciaga both put up zeros. We'll be right back. Top of the second coming up.
come back. We're about to come back.
Welcome back to Cantine. Zeros for the pitchers here in the first inning. Sean Dertinger and Alex Burciaga both put up zeros. Oneonta coming to bat now in the top of the second. They did load the bases in the top half. 3 consecutive singles from Richards, Porter, and Wirtz set up Lorenzo Camilleri for the bases loaded opportunity, but Dertinger got him looking on a four-seamer that ended it. Henry, the Stallions' offense in the bottom half, very different. 1-2-3 inning for them.
Yeah, and like we said, in that inning, they get off to slow starts sometimes throughout the year. So I don't think that this team will, or I think this team will come alive later on, and we've seen that over and over again. But now Dertinger needs to take advantage of this opportunity going through the bottom half of the order and taking out these less than phenomenal batters.
Owen Burnsworth leads things off for the Outlaws. The number 7 hitter in the Outlaw lineup takes outside 1 ball and no strikes from Sean Dertinger. The kick and the pitch is lined up the middle. Maroney fields on the slide. The throw over to first in time to nab Burnsworth at first. What a sparkling play from the shortstop, Reese Maroney, for the Ponies.
That could be the infield play of the year by Maroney, sliding into that smooth as can be and then making the throw to first. It reminds me of that Baker Mayfield touchdown celebration where he slides in and takes pictures of his teammates in the end zone. That was incredible over there at the number 6 position.
Stepping in next is Brendan Connolly, the third baseman for the Outlaws. He hits 8th tonight after hitting 7th last night against the Utica Blue Sox. First pitch from Dertinger misses upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Connolly is playing in his 22nd game as an Outlaw through the first 21. Only a 175 batting average, 11 hits and 63 at-bats here in the summer of 2025. The 1-0 from Dertinger is lined off of his glove. Maroney fields behind the bag, throws over to first, and Baker can't handle it at first base. So Connolly will be aboard here in the top of the second inning.
It's a pretty good play by Dertinger, just getting his mitt on that ball. Actually gave Maroney a chance without that. I think that's a base hit into the outfield. But fortunately, Baker just couldn't reel it in, and he's safe at first.
Zachary Robinson now steps in for the Outlaws. The only guy in the lineup today against the Stallions that did not play against the Utica Blue Sox last night. Outlaws fell 12-6, but Connolly is over at first after the single off Dertinger's glove. First pitch to Robinson is popped up in the infield. It will be the third baseman, Comiskey, camped underneath it for out number 2 here in the second.
Well, Dertinger's kind of back in the same situation. Another pair of easy outs early on. He just has to find that third and then the top of the second.
Dertinger last inning got 2 outs on the first 5 pitches he threw. Kazuara and Matthew Carrera in the first inning, and then Richards, Porter, and Wirtz had 3 consecutive singles, with Lorenzo Camilleri ending things with a strikeout. Top of the order for the Outlaws, Kazuhara steps in for his second plate appearance. He takes outside 1 ball and no strikes with 2 outs in the top of the second. Outlaws already have 3 hits, Stallions none at this point in the game.
Impressive for a team, that struggled with hitting all year. As we talked about, they're 14th in the entire league in hits right now.
And it's been an opposite season for the Stallions. They're 3rd in team batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging this summer here through their first 31 games here in the summer of 2025. The 1-0 from Dertinger is a high fly ball out into center field. Coming on it is Crane. He will make the play to end the top of the second inning. Outlaws have a base runner, but it amounts to nothing as Sean Dertinger puts up another 0 in the second. We're going to the bottom half. Stallions and Outlaws still knotted at 0. George Baker leading things off for the Stallions here in the bottom of the second inning. He's in an 0-1 count after fouling a pitch to the netting behind home plate. Baker played last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks, where he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, now in a 1-1 count, against starting pitcher Alex Burciaga, who had a 1-2-3 first inning, a fly out to left from Crane, a fourth ground out to second from Carroll, and struck out Maroney swinging to end things. Baker lines this one over the head of the right fielder, and it will get down for extra bases. Hitting first and going to second is George Baker. He has a stand-up double to lead things off here in the second inning.
George Baker got all of that ball, hitting it hard deep out to the fence and then taking second. He's a big guy, big first baseman who brings a lot of power to the plate.
Following Baker is another very powerful bat for this Stallions team, Jamie Z. He has 5 homers, 2 triples, and 4 doubles, 11 extra base hits through his first 20 games as a Stallion. The most recent extra base hit from Baker was his 4th of the season, 3rd double, here in the summer of 2025. First hit for the Stallions as well. Sets up Jamie Z with a runner in scoring position. He nubs this one foul for strike 1. Jamie Z was a pinch hitter last night for the Stallions in the 7th inning, where they scored 2 runs, ultimately propelling them to a 4-3 victory. Z had an RBI single and allowed the other run to come across after he stole second. Maurice Maroney came around to score, now 0-2 against Burciaga.
It's a dangerous at-bat for the Outlaws, who have struggled to hold teams on the defensive end, and now you have one of the best batters in the league coming to the plate, or at the plate.
Z leads the league in home runs with 5. Top 10 in RBIs as well. The 0-2 pitch misses way above his head. He has to duck out of the way. Now 1-2.
One-two count as Jamie Z waits for the pitch.
Burciaga set at the belt, slide steps and deals, misses upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jamie Z. And for those of you who know the guy, Ethan Conrad, local kid in the Saugerties area, went to Saugerties High School, played for the Stallions back in 2023, was just drafted in the first round to the Chicago Cubs, pick number 17 in the MLB draft. Burciaga makes a nice play coming off the mound for out number 1 here in the inning. But Henry, going back to Conrad, a first-round pick, number 17 to the Chicago Cubs. He was an all-MAC first-teamer at Marist in 2024, then transferred to Wake Forest for the 2025 season, where it was cut short, only played 8 games. But this is a guy that sent shockwaves around the Saugerties community with how talented of a baseball player he is.
Hey, it's not every town that has one of their own get drafted in the first round of the MLB draft. This is a night the Saugerties townspeople should be proud of and something they should remember for a long time.
Dylan Passo now steps into the batter's box. He swings and misses for strike 1. Stallions still have a runner in scoring position, that being George Baker. He had a double to start things in this inning. Jamie Z just recently flew out to the pitcher. And behind me, the Stable Club erupts as they hear Ethan Conrad's name come across the television. Congratulations to Conrad, pick number 17 in the MLB draft to the Chicago Cubs.
There's a lot of people in that room right now behind us who care about Ethan Conrad, have been there for Ethan Conrad, and are taking a lot of joy in celebrating this moment with him as he's going to the Chicago Cubs.
The 0-2 from Burciaga is a high fly ball out into right field. Richards on the run, makes the play in the gap. Baker tags from second and heads to third. He will be in there safely. Productive out for Passo as he advances Baker to third base for Ryan King, who's hitting 7th tonight. Ryan King steps in with George Baker over at third. In a 0-0 game against the Oneonta Outlaws, where the Stallions have just dominated Oneonta through their first 5 matchups, a run differential of 47-13, plus 34 in favor of Saugerties. But Henry, going back to Ethan Conrad, our PA announcer here at Cantine, Rob Vanderbeck just announced it. People are getting up and applauding for Ethan. What a great moment for Mr. Conrad.
Certainly is, and looks like he has a pretty important phone call to take at the moment as the whole crowd just stood up and gave him a little bit of applause. Really a special night for Saugerties.
King steps in against Bursiaga. He takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Alex Bursiaga has retired 5 of the first 6 hitters he faced. The lone was a George Baker double that started things in the inning. Misses upstairs, now 1-1.
Stallions an early opportunity to score, take the lead, and going against a team that struggles on the offensive end, secure that lead for the rest of the game.
The 1-1 misses outside, 2-1. Ryan King this summer for the Stallions has been one of their most productive hitters. He's played in 14 games and has a batting average of .333, 13 hits and 39 at-bats in his first 14 as a Stallion. The 2-0 pitch. Ryan King will have the 4-pitch walk here in the second inning. Sets up Casey Comiskey with the runners on the corners and 2 outs against Alex Bursiaga. Casey Comiskey is one of the most experienced Stallions players this season. He's played in 27 of the 31 games for Saugerties here in the summer of 2025. First pitch to him is a fastball for strike 1. In those 27 games, he has a .260 batting average, 25 hits, and 96 at-bats.
He's really become an asset for this Stallions team. In the first 14 games on the year, he was only batting .130. Last 13 games, he's batting .380.
He lines this one to left field, and it will get down for a base hit. Coming home to score is George Baker. The Stallions take a 1-0 lead off the RBI single from Casey Comiskey. He picks up number 15 on the season.
The hits continue to rain down for Casey Comiskey, and like a lot of players in this offense, he's just really come alive in the back half of the season.
Casey Comiskey, in his last 13 games, he's hit .380, but in the 14 prior, only .130. In that time, he had a stretch where he was 2 for 25, but he has broken out of it in a big way, giving the Stallions a 1-0 lead here in the second inning against starting pitcher Alex Bursiaga for the Outlaws. Logan Sanchez now steps in. First pitch to him is lined, and it will get through for a base hit. King hits third and will come around to score. Logan Sanchez picks up an RBI single on back-to-back pitches from Bursiaga. It's 2-0 Ponies here in inning number 2.
We've seen the Stallions sometimes perform their best when there's 2 outs on the board, and they've really got the bat going, but they've struggled bringing runners in sometimes when it's a 2-out situation and they have bases loaded or 2 runners on base, but now they're capitalizing as best they can.
Sanchez picks up RBI number 18 this season, and this game, in his 19th game as a Stallion, sets the table for Dylan Fitzsimmons. First pitch from Bursiaga misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Stallions hitting the ball hard against Bursiaga. A double from Baker. He came around to score, an RBI single from Comiskey. And Logan Sanchez, with the most recent swing, gave the Stallions a 2-0 lead. The 1-0 from Bursiaga. Strike 1 against Fitzsimmons. Dylan Fitzsimmons is now playing in his 10th game as a Stallion, one of the more recent additions for Saugerties through his first 9. A 179 batting average, 5 hits in 28 at-bats. The 1-1. Lined out into center field. Going back on it is Uhara, and he will make the nice running play to retire Fitzsimmons and robbing him of extra bases and potentially 2 RBIs as well. Ponies take the lead 2-0 on RBI singles from Comiskey and Sanchez, and Ethan Conrad goes in the first round of the MLB draft, pick number 17 to the Chicago Cubs. 2-0 Ponies when we go to the third. Sean Dertinger now has a 2-0 lead to work with in the top of the third inning. Stallions play 2 in the bottom half of the second on 3 hits. A double from George Baker started things, and Casey Comiskey and Logan Sanchez had back-to-back RBI singles on back-to-back pitches, has given the Stallions a 2-0 lead against the Oneonta Outlaws. Here in the third, Dertinger now will face hitters 2, 3, 4 for this Outlaw lineup. Matthew Carrera leads things off. First pitch from Dertinger to Carrera is a big swing and a miss. 4 strike 1. Last time Carrera hit was in the first. He popped out to the shortstop Maroney on the first pitch he saw against Sean Dertinger.
Much cleaner inning we saw from Dertinger. Just lost control of a couple pitches in that first, gave up those 3 consecutive singles, but then found his way back with a strikeout and then continued that into the next inning.
Outlaws do have 4 hits through their first 2 innings of play. A team coming into today that is 14th in batting average, 223 on the year, to go along with a 351 OBP, which is 13th. Carrera pops this one in play. Baker and Z in the right side of the infield. It will be the second baseman, Jamie Z, to make the play for out number 1 here in the top of the third. Following Matthew Carrera is the right fielder, Dane Richards. For the Outlaws, he had the first of 3 consecutive singles in the first inning before Dertinger worked his way out of it and put up a 0.
Crazy catch. Actually, that was O'Hara. I was thinking of Dane Richards. Never mind. But we'll come back to that next time we talk about O'Hara. But Dane Richards, great way to get the game started offensively for the Outlaws. They couldn't capitalize, but he's looking to do that here.
The kick and the pitch from Dertinger misses upstairs. Now 2-0 on Richards, and Henry, we talked about it in his previous at-bat. He's been by far and away the best Outlaw hitter, the only guy who's 300 or higher in terms of batting average for the Oneonta squad this summer.
Yeah, and he's really a blessing for this Outlaws team that has lost a lot of players as he hits this one hard.
Richards flies this one to left field. It will be King on it. He makes the play for out number 2 here in the third inning.
Well, perhaps we jinxed him a little bit, but really he has been a blessing for this Outlaws team that has seen so many players depart in the last few weeks, but he is stuck with them, and it's nice to see that with a player stick with his team throughout the season through the hardship, knowing that you're kind of keeping them afloat in some situations.
Following Dane Richards is the designated hitter who's hitting 4th tonight for Oneonta, Zach Porter. He had a single his last time up against Dertinger. First pitch from the right-hander, misses upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Since allowing 3 consecutive singles in the first, Dertinger has retired 6 of the last 7 hitters he faced, the only one reached by way of an error. Porter pops this one right in front of home plate. It will be the pitcher camped underneath it for out number 3 here in the top of the third inning. Dertinger helps himself, catching the fly ball from Porter to end things. Going to the bottom of the third, 2-0 from Canton. Bottom of the third inning, Stallions still lead 2-0. Sean Derringer works his first 1-2-3 inning in the top half, 3 flyouts, including the last one where he made the play himself. Now each pitcher actually has come off the mound and fielded a pop-up. Burciaga fielded it in the second inning against Jamie Z, but Derringer, Henry, has done a nice job of settling down after the 3 consecutive singles in the first.
Yeah, he does. He did, and you talked about it. He wasn't really in that situation in his first appearance this season for the Stallions through 5 innings, but early on he was tested, and early on he proved he could handle the pressure.
Derringer has now retired 7 of the last 8 hitters he's faced after the 3 consecutive singles. The only one that reached base was Brendan Connolly, and he reached base by way of an error, that being in the second inning. Stallions now have the top of the order rolling around for them in the bottom of the third. Griffin Crane steps in, and he takes low for ball 1. Crane in his first at-bat lined the ball down the left field line, and Owen Burnsworth made a nice diving play along the foul line as Burciaga misses outside, now 2-0.
His first at-bat was a quick one, and this is a guy that the Stallions want to see get on base and utilize his speed to help the Saugerties team.
Crane hits a high fly ball to the right side. Coming in on it is Richards in right, and he will make the play for out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning. But Henry, you alluded to his speed. It's very important that Burciaga keeps him off base. Crane is a stolen base threat. 8 through his first 6 games as a Pony this summer. Cameron Carroll now steps in for the Stallions with 1 out.
This whole team has been a stolen base threat all year. They lead the league, and it's such a valuable asset to have that and be able to mess with the minds of your pitchers as they're trying to focus on the batter.
Carroll takes upstairs 1 ball and no strikes. We've seen this Stallions offense do it by power and speed. They lead the league in extra base hits with 75, but also in stolen bases as Carroll flies this one out of play for strike 1.
Carroll at EH tonight is another guy they would like to see get on base because, he might be a little bit smaller compared to the rest of the lineup, but he boasts some speed as well.
Carroll comes into today with 2 stolen bases, but he's hitting .346, and this being his 17th game as a Stallion, now behind in the count 1-2.
It's easy for head coach Colin Martin to look to someone like Carroll, knowing he's played with him since he's a player with him during the regular season at school at Weber International.
Burciaga misses outside, 2-2. Stallions have only had 1 strikeout through their first 2 1/3 innings on offense, a team that doesn't strike out very much, actually the 3rd fewest in the PGCBL. The 1-2 from Burciaga is popped into short center field. It will get down for a base hit right in front of Uehara. Out in center, Cam Carroll picks up the Stallions' 4th hit of the evening. It's a single, setting up Reese Maroney with a runner on.
We saw Uehara make an incredible over-his-head catch to end the second inning, but just couldn't get there in time, and a nice hit for Carroll.
Uehara robbed Dylan Fitzsimmons of extra bases and maybe 2 RBIs as well. Logan Sanchez and Casey Comiskey were on first and second respectively, but Uehara tracked it down and robbed Fitzsimmons and ended the inning. Stallions played at 2, giving them a 2-0 lead. Burciaga checks on Carroll over at first. Reese Maroney in his lone at-bat in the first inning actually went down swinging, the only Pony to strike out at this point in the game. Burciaga checks on Carroll again over at first base.
May not have been successful in the plate in his first appearance, but in the field so far, and it's early, but in the field he's been looking really good for the Stallions.
Maroney has been successful in the batter's box all summer, though. Through his first 19, a .306 batting average to go along with 6 extra base hits.
And he's one of 4 guys in this starting order that are batting .300 right now. Another batter, Logan Sanchez, going .295, George Baker .286. So this is just littered with hitters throughout this lineup.
And Justin Ford, Henry, who's been arguably the MVP of the PGCBL, not in the lineup tonight. He hits .380, leads the league in RBIs as Burciaga checks on Carroll for a 3rd time here in the at-bat with Maroney. Still an 0-1 count with 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning. Ponies lead 2-0. Sean Derringer worked his first 1-2-3 inning of the game in the top half. Reese Maroney now steps in for his 2nd at-bat. he takes inside 2-0.
Mentioned Justin Ford, a really good opportunity for him to get a rest day. We know rest days are are kind of rare in the PGCBL, and they're just traveling all the time. They're going home, they're going away, they have game after game, they have double headers. So taking a rest day when you can against a team that's struggling like the Outlaws is really big for Justin Ford.
The 1-1 from Burciaga is popped up along the right side. Robinson going out on it. It'll be Richards coming in on it for out number 2 here in the bottom of the third inning. Both the Stallions' outs in this half inning have been flyouts to right. George Baker now steps in, but Henry, you brought up Justin Ford. He played last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks. It was 1 for 3 with an RBI. He leads the PGCBL in that category with 34. He's also tied for first with doubles at 9 as well. A guy who's just been doing it all for this Stallions lineup. But George Baker steps in for his second plate appearance against Burciaga. The first one was a loud double off the wall.
Ford's been good all year going back to him, but the last 2-3 weeks, he's just really proven himself to be one of the best players in the division, in the league. And, he was chosen as an all-star selection, one of the 5 Stallions chosen for the team. So really, he has been amazing.
1-0 from Burciaga is put in play over to the right side. Camilleri fields and will step on the bag to end the bottom of the third inning. Stallions only had 1 hit, and they leave Carroll stranded at first. We're going to the top half of the fourth. Ponies still lead 2-0 from Countdown.
Seconds. 5 seconds. Do you want another?
Welcome back to Cantine Field, where the Stallions lead the Oneonta Outlaws 2-0, and Sean Dertinger enters his 4th inning of play on the mound for Saugerties. So far, 3 innings, shutout baseball against the Outlaws. First pitch fouled away. He's facing Ian Wirtz, who in his first appearance actually got a hit off of Dertinger, a single, the second consecutive single of that inning. He came up after Zach Porter got on base himself. Now, Dertinger looking for a different ending to another face-off.
Dertinger's done a nice job of settling into things, Henry, since those 3 consecutive singles, like you mentioned. Retired 8 of the last 9 hitters. The only one reached base by way of an error, but from the first baseman, Baker.
Looks like Dertinger just above the zone, going to bring the count to 1-1. Stallions so far have allowed a few runners to get on base, but have done a good job of cleaning up the innings, cleaning up the mess that may have been created as another pitch high and inside, 2-1. but they fought their way out of these sticky situations.
And Dertinger's a guy in his last start against Mohawk Valley did not have to work in a jam at all. Pitched 5 innings pretty seamlessly. The only run he allowed was on a solo homer by Joey Calabretti.
Swing and a miss, going to bring up strike number 2, evens up the count at 2-2. Now, assuming he gets through this inning pretty quickly, he had a pretty long first inning, went through a lot of pitches, but, it's been quick work since then. Do you think we'll see him last a little bit longer, going another 5?
I think he will, because head coach Colin Martin is going to let him go. A couple pitchers on this team can't pitch tonight, so he's hoping to get great length out of Dertinger, and a ground ball like that certainly helps.
Wirt smacks one straight to Maroney over at short. Easy throw, easy out. And that'll bring up Lorenzo Camilleri, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. It's Dertinger's only strikeout of the game.
And it was a big strikeout at that. Bases were full of Outlaws. Got him looking on the fastball. Camilleri still getting familiar with the PGCBL, this only being his 5th game. Had a great opportunity there to score some runs for the Outlaws, but didn't come through.
Now Dertinger throws it in the dirt, 1-0. He had 4 strikeouts in that last appearance. Today, he's not really finding the zone in the same way, but he's still finding ways to find these outs.
And Dertinger's a guy last summer for the Stallions who didn't strike out many guys. He only had 12 across 26 and 2/3 innings. So letting his defense work behind him is what he does.
Far and away, ball number 2, 2-0 count. Camilleri, a lefty, plays first base for the Outlaws. Dertinger loads on the mound, fires, and misses once more behind the count, 3-0. Dertinger only 1 walk in his last appearance, yet to walk a batter today until just a second ago when he sent Camilleri to first with the 4th ball.
And Dertinger's a guy, Henry, who last summer with the Stallions didn't really walk that many guys either. He only had 8 across nearly 27 innings pitched. So that's like, what, if I'm a mathematician, about a walk every 3 innings? That's pretty good.
That is pretty good, and he throws his first walk tonight, only his 2nd in the season, through now about 8 1/3 innings of play. Sorry, it took me a second. I'm no mathematician, too. And Owen Burnsworth stepping up to the plate. It's our producer, Bella. Think that one was...
Henry, I don't know about you, but math sometimes trips some people up, and not today. Not today.
I was getting a little tripped up there myself, but now we're getting back on track, Nick. Talking some baseball. Burnsworth in his first at-bat grounded out.
Actually, a couple teammates squaring off tonight. Michael Levinson for the Ponies, not in the lineup. His teammates with Owen Burnsworth both played for the RPI Engineers this past spring.
0-2 count. Dertinger, the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike number 3 and out number 2.
Second strikeout for Dertinger, and Burnsworth was fishing on that one. Nice breaking ball from Dertinger.
That'll send up Brennan Connolly. Connolly a single in the 2nd inning, looking to find his way on base for the 2nd time tonight. Camilleri still sits at first after walking. Dertinger an opportunity to end the inning with Connolly at the plate. And the pitch from Dertinger. Just missed high, 1-0 count.
Henry, this is a perfect opportunity for Dertinger to get out of things. Facing a guy, Brendan Connolly, who went 0 for 4 last night against Utica, hitting under 200 this year. Perfect opportunity for him to get out of things here in the 4th.
He's batting 175 on the season, 63 at-bats, only 11 hits. It's a 1-0 count. Dertinger just checking the runner at first for going back to facing Connolly. Again, outside. We saw him get ahead of these counts really well, really early on, but now he's kind of lagging behind.
He actually gave up 3 consecutive singles in the first, and they were all in 1-2 counts. Richards, Porter, and Wirtz did a nice job of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Dertinger now here behind 2-0.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike number 1. Connolly chasing a bit high. Now a 2-1 count. 2 outs on the board. Stallions looking to end the top of the 4th and head back to the plate. Bit high, bit away. 3-1. And now Dertinger risks walking another batter.
It would be his second of the evening, and like we spoke about a little earlier, Henry, Dertinger is a guy who normally pounds the zone. So far here tonight, he's doing that exactly, only giving up 3 hits, all in the first inning. He's done a nice job of settling into his outing here tonight.
Connolly an opportunity to reach base for the second time tonight. 1 pitch away from a walk from Dertinger, and he will take first. And now a man on first, man on second for the Outlaws with 2 down.
And this is an Outlaws team, Henry, that really doesn't score runs. They're 14th out of 15th in the PGCBL, only 118 runs in their first 29 games in the summer of 2025. They've already had 2 different innings with a runner in scoring position. They left them loaded in the first, and now an RBI opportunity for Zachary Robinson with Camilleri over at second.
Now still a good performance from Dertinger on the night. Outlaws scoreless, but not exactly the way we thought things would go down up to this point. Fastball down the middle for strike number 1. 0-1 count against Zachary Robinson, the second baseman, who popped out to Casey Comiskey over at third in the second inning. He was the second out of the second inning, and a chance to be the third out here in the top of the 4th. Dertinger off the mark, 1-1, even count.
And Robinson is a guy, Henry, who struggled through his first 13 games as an Outlaw. An even 200 batting average to go along with an OPS just above 700.
7 hits on the season so far for Robinson. As Dertinger tries to get him to chase, can't, makes it 2-1. So 2 early outs for Dertinger again. But now he's getting kind of sucked deeper into these innings than he had intended. It's Lorenzo Camilleri at second, Brendan Connolly at first. Both walked. And the 2-1. Swing and a miss to even up the count at 2-2. And now Dertinger a pitch away from ending the top of the inning.
He had a strikeout earlier in the inning. That was to Owen Burnsworth. 1 pitch away from picking up his 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and does he need it? Oneonta has a runner in scoring position.
2 strikeouts on the day so far for Dertinger. Here's the pitch. Fouled backwards, and Robinson will stay alive. So now it's 2 walks on the day for the Outlaws on the offensive side and 4 hits. A much better offensive performance than that we were expecting coming into this game. 2-2, 2 outs. Dertinger throws, and outside, full count.
Runners will be on the move. 3-2, 2 outs. Dertinger has to make a good pitch because if Robinson gets a hold of it and puts it into the gap, that might allow Connolly to come around and score, a guy who has good speed for the Outlaws.
And Dertinger from the mound fires. And he got him swinging. Sends Robinson down with a strikeout and gets out of a sticky situation. That'll send the Stallions back to the plate as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Played second. Can we come back?
Yeah.
We're going to come back. Oh.
And welcome back for the bottom of the 4th inning, where second baseman Jamie Z has stepped up to the plate. Now Jamie Z, one of the better hitters in this already impressive offensive lineup for the Stallions, but he popped out in his first plate appearance in the 2nd inning. Now Jamie Z, last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks, he wasn't in the starting batting order, but he came in the 7th inning and pinch hit for Justin Ford. He came up with the game-tying run after a single and moved the game-winning run to third in Reese Maroney, who eventually reached home on an error. And now Jamie Z looking for his first hit of the night as he waves at that pitch and actually will be sent down to the dugout on 3 strikes. First strikeout of the inning for Burciaga.
Z goes down swinging on the breaking ball. He's now 0 for 2, a guy who's been doing a great job of providing energy in this Stallions lineup since coming to Saugerties. He's done nothing but rake. Even last night he pinch hits and is responsible for both runs that give the Ponies the win up at Boonville.
That was Dylan Passo, the designated hitter, taking his second appearance of the night. He also popped out in the 2nd inning. A lefty facing Burciaga, who throws one outside to make it 1-0.
And Passo is a guy, Henry, who, like Z, a rising freshman to Notre Dame, he's hit pretty much the whole summer at .265, batting average, 6 doubles.
Something interesting we've seen Colin Martin do kind of throughout the season is play Z and Passo back-to-back, perhaps a possible trend we see when they both go to Notre Dame together. It's a 3-1 count for Burciaga.
You mentioned it, Henry. Both of these guys, rising freshmen at Notre Dame.
The pitch, swung at hard, hit deep into right field. Will it get down? Yes, it will. Rounding first is Passo. He'll head to second with ease, a stand-up double for Dylan Passo.
Second extra base hit for the Ponies here today. Oh boy, they've been galloping around the bases tonight. A Baker double and now a Passo double in the 2nd and 4th respectively. The Ponies are first in the PGCBL in extra bases and now are first in doubles, that being 58 on the season.
The offensive production has been there throughout the year, And the Stallions, it's a big reason why they have 5 All-Stars on the team, the second most in the league.
And they have the top 2 guys in home runs and RBIs as well, Hobbin-Siefken and Justin Ford and Jamie Z.
Well, you mentioned Travis Hobbin-Siefken, and, well, not so great. Never mind. But Paso sits at second with Ryan King at the plate. Sorry, folks, a miscommunication on my part. That's my bad. But Ryan King, the left fielder, is at the plate. He walked in his first appearance. He also has a run on the night, 1 of 2 for the Saugerties Stallions. The pitch from Burciaga swung at, fouled back. It's a 1-2 count.
And Henry King last night did a great job. He was the only guy to rack up more than 1 hit, was 2 for 4 with an RBI. He started in left last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks. Ponies won 4-3, solidifying themselves in second place.
Well, he pops this one deep out to left center field, and it gets down. Paso's going to round third and score the 3rd run of the night. And King is going to hold up at second, an RBI double for the left fielder.
Ryan King got a hold of that one. Great swing to left field, picking up an RBI now in 3 straight games for him. He had one last night against Boonville and game 2 of the doubleheader up at Amsterdam as well. This is a guy, Henry, who's starting to find his stride and get really hot for the Ponies down the stretch of the season.
Coming into the night, he was batting .333 through 14 games and adds another hit on the season. And a floater gets past the Outlaws' second baseman. King's going to head to third. He'll hold up there. And Casey Comiskey puts runners on the corners for the Stallions with 1 out.
2 hits for Comiskey, a guy who coming into tonight hitting north of .375 over his last 14 games. He had an RBI single last inning and keeps it going on the first pitch he sees against Burciaga here in the 4th.
It took him some time to find his stride in the Stallions offense, but once he did, he really caught fire for the Saugerties team. Heading to the plate's Logan Sanchez, who had an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Now 1 of 3 Stallions with an RBI on the night. That first pitch outside the zone, 1-0.
And Henry, it's the bottom of the order providing the juice for the Ponies here tonight. King, Comiskey, and Sanchez hitting 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. All have RBI hits.
Low and outside, 2-0. Sanchez at one point in the year led the league in sac flies, and a sac fly here would bring in another run.
Stallions still lead in that category as well. They have 25 to their first 31 games this summer.
He pops this one high, sky high. Running for it is right fielder O'Hara, and it falls foul. It's actually more in the vicinity was Camilleri over at first, but they both miss it. Logan Sanchez is going to head back to the plate. Foul ball. Actually, Dane Richards out there in right field for the Outlaws. It's a 2-1 count for Sanchez. Here's the pitch. Again, makes good contact. This time heading out to Richards in right field. Tagging up at third is King. He's heading home. Will he get there in time? And it makes its way past the catcher. And King brings in another run. Rounding third was Comiskey. That'll be 4-0 lead now for the Stallions.
And Henry, it's now 5 as Casey Comiskey will come around to score after the ball went into the Stallions dugout. Dane Richards makes an errant throw. Wirtz does not handle it behind home plate. 5-0 Stallions here in the bottom of the 4th inning. All of a sudden, Henry, the mercy rule might be in the back of the heads of these Stallions players. Getting to go home early would only be their 3rd of the season.
Dylan Fitzsimmons at the plate. He flew out in his last at-bat. 3 runs now here in the bottom of the 4th for the Stallions. 2 outs. Base is now empty. after the sac fly from Logan Sanchez. Burciaga's pitch misses the zone, 1-1 count.
And Henry Fitzsimmons is a guy who was robbed of extra bases and RBIs his last time up when Kazuhara made a gorgeous play out in center field.
2-1 count now for Fitzsimmons. Only 9 games with the Stallions, a more recent addition as he takes second strike. 8 games started. Well, now 9 games started, actually, coming into this, and 10 games. Here's the pitch. Fitzsimmons swings, fouls it backwards. Count stays the same at 2-2.
And Henry Fitzsimmons is a guy with plenty of potential, a rising freshman of St. John's next year. Going to go play for the Red Storm after being named a first-team All-State selection for New Jersey high school players this past spring.
Another foul ball down to the left side this time. 3 hits this inning for the Stallions, 2 doubles and a single, and a sac fly from Logan Sanchez. Fitzsimmons makes some contact, rolls to second base, a throw in time. That will be the 3rd out, but not before the Stallions come up with 3 runs and take a 5-0 lead as we head into the top of the 5th. We'll be right back here on YouTube. Welcome back for the top of the 5th inning. And, well, Nick, we have a lot of hectic movements going on throughout the summer here in the PGCBL, a lot of roster changes, and now our sideline reporter, Hannah Tampassis, with an update on the Stallions' latest. Thank you, Hannah, for that very thorough report on a player that will definitely be missed by this Stallions team, who was very productive for this Stallions team. But again, that is the cost of Summer League baseball. You see changes throughout the season. And Nick, we have a change on the mound.
Greg Bruno, it's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Sean Dertinger goes the first 4 scoreless, now 9 innings here in the summer of 2025 for the Oswego product, where he has only allowed 1 earned.
We thought they might let him head into the 5th inning, match what he did in his last appearance, but no, they pulled him early, and I think that was due to a very long 1st inning and a long 4th inning.
And that was after 3 consecutive singles. In the 1st inning, he had 2 outs on this first 5 pitches, but he really had to work to get out of it. Now Greg Bruno towing the slab for the Ponies.
Bruno faces Ian Wirtz for his first batter of the night. Or my mistake, sorry, Kazuhara for the first batter of the night. And his pitch travels outside. It counts even at 1-1.
Henry, Sean Dertinger, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Exactly what you could have asked for from head coach Colin Martin here tonight.
2 of those strikeouts came in the 4th inning. had both Outlaws chasing. Struck out looking in the first. Now Bruno gets a chance on the mound.
And Henry, Greg Bruno's a guy who's been dominant for pretty much the entire season except for only 2 appearances.
He's dealing with a 2-1 count. Pitch travels inside, nearly hits Uhara, but Uhara will stay at the plate. 3-1 count now. We already saw 2 walks today from Dertinger. Only had 1 walk in his first appearance, now 3 walks on the season. As Bruno loads, fires high, and he will send Uhara to first base.
Leadoff walk for the leadoff hitter. Kaz Uhara now on base for his first time in 3 plate appearances. But Henry, going over to Greg Bruno, the walk has not really hurt him so much this summer for the Ponies. Only 6 coming into tonight through 12 2/3 innings.
He'll now go to 7 on the season with Matthew Carrera, the shortstop, who's popped out in his prior 2 appearances. He's 0 for 2 on the night. And Bruno deals. Swing and a miss for strike 1, 0-1. Bruno, 12.2 innings pitched on the season so far. Looking to maybe close out this game for the Stallions, even though it's only the 5th they're facing one of the worst teams in the East Division. And a steal attempt for second from Uhara. He will be called safe, and the crowd is not in agreement. And it looked like second baseman Jamie Z had the catch in time.
Yeah, the ball definitely beat Uhara by a mile. Couldn't really see from our vantage point. And actually, there's a defensive replacement over at second. It's Michael Levinson now in replacing Jamie Z. He pinch hit last night. He's been nursing a little bit of a hand injury, so Z gets pulled after he struck out last inning in the 4th.
As we travel deeper into the season, we are seeing some more and more players get a little banged up, need more rest throughout these games. The Stallions, though, no, they didn't get that last call, but they've been pretty impressive from behind the plate with steal attempts.
Logan Sanchez, Cam Carroll, Sammy Blanco, when he was here with the Ponies during the summer, all 3 catchers have had at least 2 caught stealings this summer. Just an added benefit to this Stallions defense.
Here's the pitch from Bruno. High and away, 3-1 count. And again, risks walking another batter. Could be the 4th of the night for the Stallions. Hara now sits at second after walking and then stealing second. And the 3-1. He finds the zone, make it a full count.
And that was a power fastball from the right-hander, Greg Bruno. That's what he loves to do. He tops out at 97 miles an hour on the radar gun. Loves his fastball, and I would expect him to go to it right here in a full count with nobody out here in the 5th.
And Bruno steps off the mound to check Uhara at second. Make sure third doesn't get stolen as well. Now Carrera batting .192 on the season. Definitely susceptible to the strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Swings at it, fouls it away. Still a full count, still no outs for the Outlaws, the second batter of the inning, and Carrera at the plate. As the beautiful breeze continues here at Cantine Field, and Bruno looks for his first strikeout. Bruno gets him looking, and that'll be strikeout 1 for Bruno and out 1 for the 5th inning.
15th K for Bruno this summer, and now 13 innings pitched, averaging more than 1 strikeout per inning here in the summer of 2025. He goes to his best. The 4-seam fastball freezes Carrera for his first strikeout here tonight.
Now Carrera heads down, but Dane Richards, the biggest threat in this lineup, heads to the plate. Richards had a single in his first at-bat as he takes the fastball. 0-1. And flew out in his second at-bat.
And Richards, Henry, is the only guy on this Outlaws team that has a batting average higher than 300. He came into today with an even 300 batting average, but the single in the first lifted him past that threshold.
The pitch from Bruno. Richards gets a piece of it, but fouls it backwards. 0-2. And he's behind in the count early. Now Richards has not struck out. 4 other Outlaws have struck out on the night. 3 due to Sean Dertinger. And then 1 just a minute ago from Bruno. Uhara sits at second. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Now, it's pretty incredible the improvements we've seen on the pitching side for the Stallions, but also on the fielding side have really done a great job of limiting the errors in their games.
They didn't have a single error last night against the Boonville Lumberjacks.
Richards going to get a piece of it, foul it again. Still a 1-2 count. So now Bruno getting deep into this at-bat against the Outlaws' best batter.
1-2 count with 1 out, and Uhara over at second base. I would expect Bruno to go to his good stuff. Go to the bread where there's butter. The power fastball blowing away Richards for strike 3.
Here's Bruno. And did he swing? Did he catch the corner? And he struck him out. Dane Richards heads down, and Zach Porter heads to the plate.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Bruno. Carrera looking and Richards swinging after the leadoff walk to Uhara. 1 more out, and he puts up the 5th 0 of the ballgame for Stallions pitchers.
They had to go to the field ump for that decision, but back-to-back strikeouts brings up Zach Porter, who also is 1 for 2 on the night. He was part of that back-to-back-to-back single event for the Outlaws in the first inning, but popped out in his second appearance in the third. Bruno's first pitch misses outside, 1-0.
And Henry, that last pitch, Bruno went to the good stuff. A 4-seam fastball. He tops out at 97 miles an hour, absolutely lights up the radar gun. A big reason why he just recently committed to Seton Hall after completing his freshman year at Embry-Riddle University.
He'll be joining his Stallions teammates, Casey Comiskey and Justin Ford, who also play for the Pirates. And he hits this one into the gap, picked up by Reese Maroney actually at short, and flung in and out of the glove at George Baker at first. The runner's going to round third, head for home. Sanchez can't get the ball in time. And a run will score for the Outlaws. They will not be shut out tonight. Stallions lead 5-1. Now a runner at first for the Outlaws, and George Baker just unable to wrangle in that ball.
This is only his second game manning first base of the season, a guy who comes to the Stallions with very limited experience over there. He had an error back in the second inning and can't cleanly scoop that one. Allows the Oneonta Outlaws to get on the board. It's now 5-1 Ponies.
That was Uhara who scored the run for the Outlaws after walking and then stealing second. But now it's Ian Wirtz, who grounded out in his last appearance, but also had a single in the first inning. 0-1 count. Zach Porter sits at first, and that was ruled an error, the second of the night for the Stallions. As Bruno gets ready to deal. And jumps ahead now, 0-2. Another chance at a strikeout for Bruno, and to walk out of this inning with only 1 run given up to Oneonta.
His only 2 strikeouts of the ballgame have come here in the 5th inning. The only inning he's pitched in this one, Sean Dertinger went the first 4. He only had 3 strikeouts.
And here's Bruno once again, and just misses outside. Gonna keep Wirtz alive at the plate. 1-2. Stallions with shutout potential. Gave up that 1 run, but they can tack 6 more on the board, maybe some run rule potential, but still a ways away from that happening. Bruno, the pitch. Did he swing? And he did. They got him. Bruno, 3 strikeouts, sends the Outlaws back into the field, and the Stallions back onto the offensive side of the plate. An outstanding inning for Bruno to get his night started as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Welcome back to the bottom half of the 5th inning, where the Stallions are looking to increase a 4-run lead. They lead the Oneonta Outlaws 5-1. The Outlaws, who sit at the bottom of the East Division, they're 4-25 on the year, 1-17 away, and they have had no luck here, especially at Cantine Field. They're still looking for their first win against the Stallions this season, and it's not looking too good so far, but the Stallions offensively are looking good, trying to continue the success they've had over the past few weeks.
They had 5 runs in their first 4 innings on offense, 2 in the second and 3 in the 4th against starting pitcher Alex Burciaga. But Henry, we have a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen for the Outlaws. Tyler Cienko coming in, now towing the slab for Oneonta.
Tyler Cienko, a sophomore at Cobleskill, listed at 6'3", the pitcher coming in to replace Burciaga, who gave up 5 runs to the Stallions in that 4th inning, gave up a double to Dylan Passo, then an RBI double to Ryan King 1 batter later, and then the hits continued, a single for Casey Comiskey, a sac fly for Logan Sanchez, which resulted in 2 runs, and it was an exciting inning. Here's the pitch from Cienko, and he found the zone, 0-1 count.
And this is a guy, Henry, making his debut for the Outlaws in the summer of 2025. Pitched 12 times for SUNY Cobleskill this past spring, 21 1/3 innings pitched, to an ERA of 8.3.
Right now it's Griffin Crane back at the plate. And he's still looking for his first hit on the night. He's 0 for 2, both flyouts to the outfield. And the Stallions looking to utilize his greatest asset, his speed. A lefty facing Cienko, who goes high and away, brings the count to 2-1.
Henry, you mentioned his great speed. He has 8 stolen bases through his first 6 games as a Stallion. One of those, he was a pinch hitter and only got one at bat as well.
Crane, who plays with Louisville during the regular college season. He takes another pitch outside and a chance to walk here. It's 3-1 count.
And last time the Ponies played the Outlaws up at Tomaskey Field, Henry, he had 5 stolen bases by himself.
Hard cut by Crane. He's going to wave at it, miss at it. Brings him to a full count. Stallions looking for what could be their first walk of the night. Now they've given up 4 to the Outlaws, but yet to find one themselves. And an opportunity here, but also an opportunity for Cienko's first strikeout. Here's the pitch. And Crane will take it outside, and he will head to first with the walk. So a leadoff walk for Griffin Crane is going to bring up the extra hitter for the Stallions, Cameron Carroll, and 10 batters. The Stallions didn't really do it at the beginning of the year, but the last few weeks they've liked it.
5 of the last 6 games, the Stallions have used the extra hitter, and it really hasn't hurt them. The offense over their last stretch of games have had at least 9 hits. In 8 of their last 11 games, the last 3 actually are the last 3 games they've played.
High pitch, Crane stealing second, throw is nowhere close, trickles into the outfield, and another stolen base on the season for Crane. That's his 9th of the year.
Now sits in 4th place in that category. Justin Ford is the team leader with 16, but he's played 27 games. This is game number 7 for Crane. And Henry, if I had to guess, I'm thinking he's on the move again.
I think you are right there, Nick, and if you get him to third, if you get Cameron Carroll on base, who also boasts some speed, you have a very dangerous situation for the Oneonta Outlaws. Now, Carroll, in his last at-bat, a single, grounded out in his first at-bat, so he's 1 for 2. And a meeting on the mound for Cienko with his catcher, Ian Wirtz, trying to maybe cool some nerves in his first appearance. Only his second batter faced of the night. He faces Carroll now with a 1-0 count. He loads, fires, and locates the zone that time, 1-1 count. And maybe whatever Wirtz said worked.
And Carroll's a guy, Henry, who loves to hit with runners in scoring position. He has 10 RBIs in 16 games as a Stallion this summer.
Consistent hitter for this Stallions team. He pops this one in the air, heading for it is the third baseman, Brandon Connolly. And in and out of his glove, he can't reel it in. And it looks like Carroll's going to head back to the plate.
Carroll gets another life after Connolly bobbles it over at third. It was a tough play. He was coming in on it, but either way, a play that he even thinks he should have made after he slammed his glove on his quad over there at third. But nonetheless, Carroll now gets another life and has an opportunity to score Crane with a base hit to the outfield.
Maybe it was one of the big field lights in the area, obstructed his view, or just couldn't wrangle it in. Either way, Carroll stays alive, 1-2 count. And Cienko. Carroll fouls it back. Heading deep into the count now.
And Henry, Griffin Crane was actually trying to steal third on that most recent pitch as well. He stole second in this at-bat earlier on the first pitch from Cienko, but there he goes trying for third. Carroll had to swing to keep himself alive in the count.
And the 1-2. Crane heading for third once more. And once more he's going to have to head back because Carroll just wants to keep going, fouling that ball away.
Has to do anything he can to stay alive and pass the baton to Reese Maroney on deck. Carroll now has back-to-back foul balls in a 2-strike count. Henry, if I had to guess right here, I think he lines a base hit up the middle.
Well, let's see if you can predict the future, Nick. Here's the 1-2. Crane again a threat to steal. And Carroll continues this fouling clinic, now sending another one away.
And Henry, this is interesting. Back in the first inning, when Sean Dertinger was toeing the slab for the Stallions. Dane Richards was in a 1-2 count. He had 3 straight foul balls in that count, and then he worked his way on base with a single. Wonder if Cam Carroll's going to do the same thing.
Cienko continuing to attack Cameron Carroll. And the pitch. He makes good contact deep out to right field. Heading for it is Dane Richards. Will it go over his head? Yes, bounces off the fence. Heading to third is Griffin Crane. He rounds the end. He'll trot on home. And a RBI double for Cameron Carroll.
There it is. Cameron Carroll gets the job done. His 11th RBI on the season, his 4th double as well. Plates the 6th run for the Ponies here in the 5th inning. A ball that he absolutely crushed. Just missed a home run by a couple feet.
It looked like for a second Crane couldn't tell if the ball was caught. He slowed up, but then kicked in the afterburners, headed around third, and scored yet another run. A 6-1 lead now for the Stallions here at Cantine Field. And looks like third base coach Ron Kelder came onto the field to talk about something for just a moment, but not sure what that was.
And Henry, they were a little bit confused on the field what was going on, because here at Cantine there's like a wall behind the wall itself. So the ball from Carroll bounced up and hit the wall behind the actual fence, which is by rule a ground rule double. So everyone just wanted to get on the same page and understand what was actually going on.
That'll send up the third batter of the inning, Reese Maroney. Only the third batter, a long at bat for Carroll, who now sits at second. Low pitch, 1-0 count. Now Reese Maroney 0 for 2, struck out in the first inning when he faced Alex Burciaga, looking for a little more luck against Tyler Cienko. Flew out in his second plate appearance. The pitch. Again outside and 2-0.
And Henry Maroney's in a little bit of a funk, hitless in his last now 8 at-bats, but his last one broke the ice for the Stallions, a team that had the bases loaded 5 times against the Amsterdam Mohawks. He had a 3 RBI triple that cleared the bases and at the time gave the Stallions the lead.
He watches one pitch sail by, makes it a 2-1 count. Now, he's played 19 games for the Stallions, started all 19. He's batting .306 on the season. Two-one count. Cienko looking for the first out of the inning for the Outlaws after already giving up a run. And the pitch pops it high and away. And a foul ball for Maroney.
And Henry Maroney this past spring at Rhode Island did nothing but rake. He had an over 350 batting average for the Rams this past spring. And here in the summer for the Stallions, above a 300 batting average. All this guy seems to do is hit.
Something I can't get out of my mind is that amazing play Maroney made earlier in the game, sliding into a ground ball, making the throw to first to find an out against the Outlaws, boasting his skills in the field. But he's trying to get back on track on the offensive side of the ball. It's a full count now for Maroney. Cienko risks his second walk of the inning and second walk of the game for the Stallions. And the pitch makes contact, rolls over to second. The throw in time moves Carroll to third. And Maroney will head on back to the dugout. Now 1 down for the Stallions.
Put a productive out at that for Maroney. Allows Carroll to reach third base. Still only 1 out in the inning. So all Baker has to do is hit a fly ball, and that will score the run for the Ponies.
So that is the first out. Carroll heads to third with a runner at one corner. The designated hitter, George Baker, is going to step up, and what a hit he had in the second inning. A blast of a double out to right field. And a hard cut by Baker, swing and a miss, 0-1.
That was a healthy cut at that, Henry. Baker looks like he wanted to add 2 runs with 1 swing here in the 5th. That would have been his first homer as a Stallion this summer, and oh boy, did it look like he was swinging for the downs on that one.
The pitch. He makes good contact. Again, out to right. Will it stay fair? And no, it will not. Baker just sending it over Dane Richards' way, making his night more like a nightmare.
And Richards has had a shaky time over there in right. A ball got over his head in this inning, a Cameron Carroll double. Baker line went over his head for a double. Same thing with Dylan Passo. 3 extra base hits all over the head of Richards here in this one for the Ponies.
Now any kind of hit can bring Carroll in for a run. Baker, the lefty, trying to convert. Swings high, chases 0-2 count. Oh, and that'll actually be a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Baker, his first of the night. Sending up Jamie Z's replacement, Michael Levinson.
And Levinson comes in for Z after last inning as a defensive replacement. He is playing second base. Z, through the first 4 innings of play on offense, hit twice, popped out to the pitcher foul, Alex Burciaga, and went down swinging, most recently in the 4th.
Now Levinson coming into this only 3 games with the Stallions. This is his 4th. His first game not starting for Saugerties. In those 3 games, he's batting .333, 6 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 of them a double. Starts with a 1-0 count. And make that a 1-1 count. Looked like that may have been called a ball, but just graced the strike zone from Cienko. Still a runner at third in Cameron Carroll, who had to battle Cienko to find his way on base. And the 1-1 pitch. Waves at it, misses it. 1-2. Now again, Cienko ahead in the count in an advantageous position, but can he secure the strikeout?
He had a big strikeout of Baker, the batter, before. I would expect him to go to the fastball here. Levinson has been late on it twice.
1-2. And a good save by Ian Wirtz from a wild pitch that may have brought Carroll home as Cienko went a little too outside. 2-2 count.
Excellent stop from Wirtz. Carroll stands 90 feet away over at third. A pass ball would plate another run for the Stallions, but Wirtz doing a nice job keeping Carroll at third here with 2 outs.
Now 1 run so far for the Stallions in the 5th inning. They're looking for their second. And a full count now for Levinson.
Levinson only playing in his 4th game as a Stallion. He started all the other 3, and during that time, he's done well. 2 hits in his first 6 at-bats, a .333 batting average, and an RBI as well.
Now Levinson in these 3 games has worked 6 walks and hits it out to short. Carroll's going to try and come home, but the throw to first is in time. That'll be the 3rd out, and that'll send us to a new inning for the top of the 6th. Make sure to stick with us here for Saugerties Stallions broadcast. Yep. And welcome back for another inning of Stallions baseball where they lead the Oneonta Outlaws 6-1, and they've been very successful throughout the night. 2 runs in the 2nd inning, 3 runs in the 4th, and a run in the 5th. and the scoring has just been raining down on the Outlaws all night. And we have a special guest with us. Joining us is the Stallions social media manager, Jack Viator. What are your thoughts on the game so far, Jack?
Great game. Missed pretty much all of it with Mr. Conrad going pro, but anytime the Stallions are leading, it's a great day in Saugerties.
Jack, can you talk about what went into tonight? You've been a guy who worked pretty much the entire night here up at the Stable Club at Kansine. Can you describe what it's like for Ethan Conrad to be drafted in the first round of the MLB draft?
Oh, man, it's been a blast. It's pretty unbelievable. Just being here last year, seeing him play for the Stallions and just dominate, it's been pretty cool. We set up early, wanted to make sure we documented everything. We got a graphic made, got some video footage. It's been pretty cool. Just seeing the emotions on Ethan's face was pretty surreal, just even for me.
Now, I believe this is your first MLB draft party.
It is.
And first one where you're seeing your player go in the first round. What were your thoughts?
I'm just so happy for him and so proud. We've seen the work he's put in, and just he's a better person than he is player, and he's an incredible player. But no one more deserving. No one works harder than him. It's just pretty amazing to see how far he's come.
And a hometown kid getting to have his draft party in Saugerties with a team that he used to play for, around his friends and family. This has to mean everything to the town.
Yeah, you can just see how happy everyone is. You see kids walking around with Conrad jerseys on, people asking him for pictures and autographs. Even the players down in the bullpen were asking how it's going, and everyone's just so happy for him. No matter if you're his best friend or a stranger, you're just happy to see someone from Saugerties come this far.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I didn't mean to cut you off
You're
at the
fine.
end there, but a ground ball over to Michael Levinson at second is going to find the first out of the inning, send Lorenzo Camilleri down, and send Owen Burnsworth back to the plate. Jack, you've seen a lot of players come through the Stallions coming back to Conrad. What were your thoughts when you saw Conrad with the Saugerties team?
Well, 2 years ago, we kind of expected him to be here. He's local and had great talent, but kind of seeing the transformation he made in his sophomore year at Marist and then coming back for the summer, it was kind of just insane, to say the least. It was pretty obvious he's the best player I've ever seen in person, and it was an unfair advantage. He was here for 2-3 weeks and led the league in home runs for the rest of the season. So if that says enough, and then went to the Cape and had the second best batting average among anyone and won the All-Star Game MVP.
And now he's heading to join the Chicago Cubs to embark on a new journey for his MLB career. Just no words, right, Jack?
It's pretty insane. It still hasn't hit me. Just, oh my God, I was just watching someone get drafted, and just knowing him and having a relationship with him just through work and life, it's pretty cool. I'm very happy for him.
Bruno working with a 1-2 count against the Outlaws left fielder Owen Burnsworth, who's 0 for 2 on the night, struck out in his last at-bat, a ground out in his first at-bat. Bruno, a pretty successful start, 3 strikeouts already. And a slow roller, Bruno's going to pick it up himself, jaunt over to first, toss it to Baker, and now 2 down for the Oneonta Outlaws.
Yeah, speaking of new journeys, Greg Bruno just committing to Seton Hall. Pretty cool for him, and congrats to him. I know he's worked hard and loves the game, just talking to him, so that's pretty exciting.
You get to know these players in a different kind of way. Do a lot of social media stuff for them, a lot of graphics, announcements, videos. How do you get to know them through this process?
It's just cool to remember that they're just people. Obviously they're more talented than me, but, you see them signing autographs for kids, and, some of these guys aren't really used to that. Saugerties does it better than anybody when it comes to Summer League baseball, and it's just cool to see, how appreciated they are and, get to know the personal side of them because, they're all living out their dream in different ways, and it's just cool to remember that they're all unique, but all just people like the rest of us at the same time.
Bruno works his way to a 1-2 count. My mistake, looks like a 1-1 count. He's facing third baseman Brennan Connolly, who pops one sky high George Baker trying to find his way underneath, and he reels it in for the third out of the inning. A big thank you to the Stallions social media manager, Jack Viator, for joining us for the top half of this inning. It was great to hear you talk about Ethan Conrad and his journey to the MLB. Thank you again, Jack.
Been a pleasure. Thanks, Henry.
Ian Wirtz getting out in the last at bat. Welcome back. Dylan Passo at the plate, and the Stallions looking for yet another victory. They've won 7 of their last 9, lost 2 games in a doubleheader to Amsterdam on Thursday, bounced back with a 4-3 win over the Boonville Lumberjacks last night, and trying to continue that success tonight with a win over the division-losing Oneonta Outlaws, who sit at the bottom of the East with a 4-25 record. I'm Henry Hipschman, along with my broadcast partner Nick Zuppi, as we watch Dylan Passo line one straight to second base. Zachary Robinson, an easy throw to first, finding the first out. Now, Nick, it's a 5-run lead for the Stallions. What do they need to do to finish this night out?
They need to score 5 runs, Henry. They need to score 5 runs, get out of here early, save some arms. You got a doubleheader tomorrow against Glens Falls. Every inning is valuable. You have to get 3 outs somehow, some way tomorrow against Glens Falls. So if you can save an arm or 2 tonight and walk out of here with a mercy rule victory, that would be awesome.
Now, Stallions play tonight, 2 games tomorrow, game Tuesday, Wednesday. They have a day off Thursday, and then a back at it on Friday. A little bit brutal, this schedule, huh?
Tough upcoming schedule, but very winnable games for the Ponies during this stretch. You're playing the Outlaws, who are in last place, losers of 6 in a row, and then you have a doubleheader against Glens Falls, who are right above them in 7th place, 13 and a half games back of the Mohawks, who then you play Amsterdam the next day, with Utica following them on Wednesday. So 3 out of 4 teams that you're going to play over the next couple days are under 500.
Now it's Ryan King at the plate, who had an RBI double in his last at-bat, walked in his first at-bat, has found home twice, put on 2 runs on the board for the Stallions, and looking to continue that success. Here's the pitch.
And King, in his last 3 games, Henry, has had an RBI. Last night he was 2 for 4 with an RBI against Boonville in Game 2 of the doubleheader up at Amsterdam. He had an RBI in that one as well, a guy who's just been on a tear for the Ponies.
3-0 count, looking for yet another walk. But no, Cienko right down the middle makes things 3-1. Stallions undefeated against Oneonta, but it's been hard for the Outlaws to find success. Only 4 wins on the year, only 1 win away. This ball's popped straight in the air. First baseman for the Outlaws, Lorenzo Camilleri, sitting underneath and pulling in the second out. So pretty clean inning so far for the Outlaws.
Cienko has done a nice job of settling into this one. 5 straight outs after the double to Cameron Carroll, which started things in the 5th. Doing a nice job of pumping the zone. That's the big thing. He had a strikeout when Carroll was on 3rd last inning. Here, this inning already, 2 outs in 6 pitches.
Now, it's never easy to come into the game when you're down so many runs, but Cienko has bounced back a bit. Comiskey at the plate, swings at the first pitch, fouls it away. Making an attempt for it was Camilleri, but he'd have to climb over a fence and into the bleachers to catch that ball. 1-0 count. 0-1 count. Comiskey, 2 for 2 on the day. RBI single in the 2nd. And a single in the 4th. Also has a run. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Cienko missing. Makes it a 1-1 count. It's already 2 down for the Stallions, who saw their first 2 batters retired, Dylan Passo and Ryan King, in a ground out and a pop out. Comiskey looking to perhaps get the offense started, maybe work towards a run rule, something they're very much capable against this Outlaws team. And a high pitch over the head of Comiskey is going to make the count 2-1.
And Henry, a breeze is starting to pick up here at Cantine. It's coming straight towards us. Our backs are our fronts are toward the field. So if someone were to hit a fly ball right now, the wind might carry it out of here.
Cienko, the pitch. Hard cut by Comiskey. It's going to go nowhere. He misses the pitch. 2-2 count. Comiskey, talked about it throughout the night, has really come alive for the Stallions throughout the season. Definitely one of the biggest improvements, probably the most improved player for the Stallions. He's been with the team since the start of the year, and now he has become one of the most valuable offensive assets in this Stallions batting order. He flops one over to short. The throw, bit high, but not in time. It looks like Camilleri stepped off the base, and Comiskey's going to be safe.
From our vantage point out in center field, Henry, I thought he was out. Ball beat him, but the first baseman, Camilleri, must have had his foot off the bag. Nonetheless, Casey Comiskey will reach base with 2 outs, allowing Logan Sanchez to hit with a runner on base.
The throw from the shortstop, Matthew Carrera, just a little bit high, brought Camilleri's foot off the bag and allowed Comiskey to sit at first. Not what the Outlaws were looking for. And now Logan Sanchez, who has had a successful night, is back in the batter's box. First pitch, a bit low. Comiskey's going to dart for second. And he was not in time. Comiskey, caught stealing, is going to bring this inning to an abrupt end. We will head into the 7th. The Stallions, a 5-run lead as we go into the final 3 innings of the night.
Welcome back to Kansai. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. Top of the 7th inning, Stallions lead 6-1 here in the top of the 7th. Ponies did not score last inning. Casey Comiskey had a 2-out single and then was caught stealing to end things against Tyler Cienko. He's now through 2 innings in relief of Alex Burciaga, and he's only allowed 1 run, that being in the 5th, when Griffin Crane came around to score on an RBI double from Cameron Carroll. Greg Bruno still out there towing the slab for the Stallions. This is his 3rd inning in relief, and Henry, he's looked really good.
Yes, he has. Bruno has had a good season all year long for the Stallions, and tonight he just got off to a really hot start. 3 strikeouts in the 5th, a very clean 1-2-3 inning in the 6th, and he's trying to keep that success going.
Greg Bruno will be facing the number 9 hitter in the Oneonta Outlaw lineup. Zachary Robinson leading things off. He's playing second base. Bruno, to this point in the game, he has only allowed 1 hit, 1 run as well in his first 2 innings of work. First pitch to Robinson, misses upstairs with the 4-seam fastball, ball 1. Robinson here today is 0 for 2. He had a fly out to the third baseman Comiskey in the 2nd and struck out swinging in the 4th. The final out that starting pitcher Sean Dertinger got in that game as well.
Gotta say, it seems like Robinson's a magnet when he's out in the field. A lot of ground balls going his way as he pops this one out towards right. Looks like it's going to fall foul into the Outlaws bullpen. But the Stallions, this is a great marker for them on the season. Using Bruno, probably going to be able to finish out the game with him on the mound, trending upwards when they started out the season using 4 pitchers, even sometimes 5 pitchers, but now they're using 1, they're using 2, they're using 3.
Stallions last night in the 4-3 win against Boonville, they only used 2 pitchers. Marciano Neglia started, went the first 4 2/3, and then Virgil Heath got the final 4 1/3 inning pitch. No runs allowed as well, just the 3rd time all year, where the Ponies have won a full 9-inning game only using 2 pitchers. The 1-1 from Bruno in there for strike 2. Greg Bruno still out there towing the slab for the Ponies. This being a guy who's been pretty consistent all year long for the Stallions. This is appearance number 8. Now 14 2/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 10 earned runs. Misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Chance for another strikeout here. Perhaps he'll go back to that fastball and send Robinson down.
Bruno does not work out of the windup. He's one of the couple Stallion pitchers that just go out of the stretch. Keller Osmond is one of them, to name another. The kick and the pitch misses low in the dirt. Count goes full after Bruno was ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on Robinson. The top of the order is on deck for the Outlaws. Kazuhara, the center fielder, in the on-deck circle where he's been on base once out of his 3 plate appearances here today. The Outlaws actually have only had 1 hit since the 1st inning.
You know, we stated it in the pregame. We talked about it earlier in the game as looks like Robinson's going to walk. Now, walks have been a bit of a problem, but we talked about it pregame, talked about it earlier in the game, how hitting has been a problem for the Outlaws all year, and we didn't expect their offense to be too productive. And honestly, it's been impressive how they performed in that 1st inning.
The Ponies have only allowed 1 hit since 3 consecutive in the 1st inning, when Richards, Porter, and Wirtz all singled with 2 outs before Dertinger struck out Lorenzo Camilleri looking to end the threat with the bases loaded. First pitch to Uhara is in there for strike 1. Uhara here today, 0 for 2 with a walk. He came around to score the only Outlaw run. That was back in the 5th inning when he stole second and came around to score on a Zach Porter RBI single. The 0-1 from Bruno misses away. Now 1-1.
Something they're going to have to focus on, take away from this game is the walks. You know, they're giving up a lot of walks. They gave up 12 walks to Amsterdam between both games in the doubleheader. So just going to need to do a little bit of a better job locating the zone.
They did do a better job last night, only 6 against Boonville as Bruno fires in. Strike 2 to Uhara. Kazuhara is a guy who doesn't really strike out that much for the Oneonta Outlaws. Comes into today through his first 15 games as an Outlaw with 14 strikeouts. to go along with a .292 batting average as well. 14 hits and 48 at-bats.
Uhara matched up with Richardson, make a deadly duo.
Flies this one out to left field. Going on back on it is King. He will make the play as Robinson retreats back to first as he was off with the pitch. But nonetheless, it's out number one here in the 7th for Greg Bruno.
Easy out to get the inning started for Bruno. He gave up that walk but quickly brushed it off, and now he's going on to the next batter.
Following Kazuhara is the shortstop, Matthew Carrera, who's 0 for 3 here today. Struck out looking his last at-bat in the 5th. First pitch to him in there for strike one. Bruno going to that power fastball. Henry, he's a guy who lights up the radar gun. Tops out at 97 miles an hour.
And we've seen it tonight, the killing stroke against a lot of batters utilizing that fastball. And then going back to Carrera, he's struggling 0 for 3. He's only batting 192 on the season, one of a few Outlaws in this starting order who are batting under 200, and successful steal attempt there, but really struggle.
Robinson steals second as ball gets away from Sanchez. It will be 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Zachary Robinson picks up the stolen bag, his now 10th of the season. He sits in second on the team in that category, and this is an Oneonta squad that doesn't really steal the bases that much. 9th in the PGCBL coming into today, whereas the Stallions are actually 1st in that category with 117 through their first 29. Carrera flies this one away. Now 1-2 count with 1 out in the top of the 7th.
Something rare we saw today was a Stallion getting caught stealing when Casey Comiskey darted for second. They haven't really been caught at all this year. They've been so successful, and Comiskey just a late jump.
Only 16 caught steals at that. 117 for 133 for the Ponies this year, stealing bags. That's by far and away the best mark in the PGCBL. The next closest team is under 100, actually. Bruno in a 1 ball, 2 strike count with 1 out. Robinson now on second. The kick and the pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Rung up. Strike 3 late. Strike 3 signaling from the home plate umpire is even confusing us up here in the Pack Hub broadcast booth. But nonetheless, Greg Bruno picks up another strikeout, second out of the inning.
Blue definitely took his time with that strikeout call, putting a little emphasis on it. But Bruno sends another one down. His great night continues.
Bruno has 4 strikeouts here today. He had 3 in the 5th, and now Carrera looking in the 7th. 2 outs, bringing up Dane Richards, who hits 3rd in the Oneonta Outlaw lineup. First pitch from Bruno is a fastball that's on the outside corner for strike 1. Richards had the first hit of the ball game for either team, that is, in the top of the 1st inning. He had a single that fell in front of the right fielder Fitzsimmons of Saugerties. Then the Ponies would allow 2 more consecutive singles before Dertinger got out of things with a strikeout. Since then, the Oneonta Outlaws only 1 hit. Richards swings and misses, now 0-2.
It's a great opportunity for Dertinger to come out here, face some pressure, and work his way out of a bases-loaded situation, out of a tough situation. It gave the coaches a good look at his mentality on the mound when he faces some pressure.
Last time Bruno pitched was against the Amsterdam Mohawks in the 3-1 victory right here at Canton. He got through an inning and 2/3 scoreless, 1 strike away from getting through 3, only allowing run. The 1-2 put in play over to the second baseman. Levinson fields, fires over to Baker in time for out number 3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Greg Bruno's come on and done a nice job. Only 1 run across his 3 innings out of the pen, and it's Welcome back to Canton. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. Score still remains the same, 6-1. Greg Bruno puts up his second consecutive 0 after a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. He allowed Robinson to get to second, who led things off in the inning, but ultimately got the next 3 guys one by way of the strikeout, allowing him to put up back-to-back zeros. Stallions still lead 6-1. Henry, it's the offense's turn to answer. They've been consistent all night. They've had a hit in 5 straight innings, including 3 in the 2nd and 4th innings.
This is just an extra base hitting machine, this Stallions offense. I know they lead the PGCBL at the moment, and tonight they've put that on display. Some doubles, a lot more singles, 3 doubles, 3 singles, and they have just put the pressure on this Outlaws team who just have not been able to answer.
And it will be Logan Sanchez leading things off for the Stallions. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, he was up when Casey Comiskey got nabbed stealing second in the bottom half of the 6th. So Sanchez gets to resume another at-bat against a new arm for this Oneonta Outlaws squad. Once we get that name, we'll give you confirmation. But there is a defensive replacement as well. For the Outlaws, Dan Richards moves over to center field with Zach Rowe now playing right. This one is grounded over to the second baseman in time for out number 1 on 1 pitch. Kazuhara has been taken out of the game. Zach Rowe now in left with Richards in center.
Just a tough night for Richards over there in right, and not entirely to his fault, but just some plays that he couldn't make, and the Stallions really attacking that part of the field throughout the game.
Owen Burnsworth, as a result, moves from left to right, so the new outfield for the Outlaws. From left to right is Rowe, Richards, and Burnsworth, but Dylan Fitzsimmons picks up a first pitch single here with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Good way for Fitzsimmons to get his night started. You got a comfortable lead. You probably feel a little more comfortable in the batter's box. The pressure is off of you, and now he comes away with a hit.
And this is a guy who needed a hit as well. Came into today, this being game number 10 as a pony and under 200 batting average. He now sets the table for the top of the order. Rolling around for the Stallions, Griffin Crane steps in for his 4th plate appearance. Takes upstairs 1 ball and no strikes. Crane here today, 0 for 2 with a walk. He came around to score on that walk in the 5th after Cameron Carroll doubled him home. Takes in a strike, 1-1. Crane lines this one, and it will fall for a base hit. Fitzsimmons hits second and rounds third. Throw is cut off by the second baseman, Robinson, stopping Crane at first base. But the Ponies are in business. 2 speedsters occupying the corners. Dylan Fitzsimmons over at third. Griffin Crane at first. Cameron Carroll now coming to the batter's box. He will flip around and hit it from the right side. The switch hitter with the lefty on the mound is now going to hit right-handed.
Man, how great is a switch hitter, isn't it? And then Crane seeing that hit, seeing him come alive in these last 2 at-bats is just great for the Stallions, who really just need to come out with as sound of a win, I think, as you can look for as they continue this really successful stretch of baseball.
First pitch fired in there for a strike. Carroll today has 2 hits, a single in the 3rd, and an RBI double in the 5th. He also has a ground out to second in the 1st. The only time, actually, in the game where the Stallions went 1-2-3 was in the 1st inning. The 0-1 pitch misses outside, 1-1.
I don't know if there's a better late-game team in the PGCBL at the moment than the Saugerties Stallions with the way they've been playing late into these games. Maybe the Amsterdam Mohawks, who still sit at the top of the division, but the Stallions just impressive.
Carroll flies this one into short left center field. It will not get down. Rowe makes the play running in, and Fitzsimmons has no choice but to hold at third after the southpaw made the nice running play over in left field for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Real nice play out there in left, and keeps yet another run from getting on the board for the Stallions.
2 outs now in the inning. Logan Sanchez led things off with a ground out to second. So 2 outs in the inning brings up Reese Maroney, who hits third in the Stallion lineup. 0 for 3 to this point, and actually 0 for his last 9 coming into this at-bat. Takes strike 1 on the fastball.
Best part about an offense like the Stallions is when a few players go cold like Reese Maroney has and Dylan Fitzsimmons has as of late, they have other guys who make up for it.
And Maroney's been hitting all year as well. This is his 20th game as a Pony, hitting over 300. He now takes outside. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Logan Sanchez started things with a ground ball to second, and then Fitzsimmons hit a single on the next pitch after that. Griffin Crane then singled after Fitzsimmons. Cameron Carroll with the fly out to left. Sets up where we are right now. The 1-1 from Waterman is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 2.
4 doubles on the night. And I'm kind of surprised one hasn't come from Reese Maroney, who has 5 on the season. He is the 3rd most, looks like, on the Saugerties roster. So if he can come alive right here, be great for the Stallions.
And the guy with the most on this team and the most in the PGCBL, Justin Ford, is not even in the lineup tonight. A guy hitting .380 in his first 27 games as Maroney takes inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Dylan Fitzsimmons over at third. Griffin Crane over at first. Stallions lead 6-1, out-hitting the Outlaws now 11-4, but have made more errors than Oneonta here tonight, 2, compared to the only error for Oneonta. That was back in the 4th inning.
And both the Stallions errors came over at first with George Baker, who, like you touched on earlier in the game, is just adjusting to the position. And this is a great game to do that. You have a comfortable 5-run lead against a team that you know you're more than likely to beat, and you just want to try some new things out.
Now 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, Camilleri over at first for Oneonta will back off as Crane will be in motion. Fitzsimmons not over at third. He will stay put. The payoff pitch popped over toward the Oneonta dugout. Will it stay in play? No, it will not. It will hit the top of the dugout, actually out of play. So we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom 7. Reese Maroney has 11 RBIs this summer and 19 games played. Looking for number 20, Dylan Fitzsimmons stands 90 feet away at third after he picked up his first hit of the ball game. Griffin Crane over at first will be off on the pitch. The 3-2. Popped foul out of play once more. Back-to-back foul balls and a full count from Maroney. And Henry, this is a guy who loves to walk. He's top 25 in walks. He leads the Stallions with 20.
But the Outlaws aren't really dealing a lot of walks today, and that's unfortunate for the Stallions with players like Maroney who utilize that in their game, but they did have one in the 5th. Looking for another here.
The payoff pitch. Grounded over to third. Connolly fields and fires across the diamond in time with the help of Camilleri over at first after he makes the nice scoop to save a run for the Stallions. It's now 6-1 score still going to the top of the 8th from Cantine. Yeah, they're about to come. I'm ready. Welcome back to Cantine. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. Top of the 8th inning. Stallions still lead 6-1. Score hasn't changed since the bottom of the 5th. Both teams did not score in the 6th or the 7th. And at this time in the game, it's a Dallas Hot Wieners call to the bullpen. Matt Murtaugh comes in relief of Greg Bruno, who pitched the last 3 innings and only gave up 1 earned run on 1 hit. He had 4 strikeouts to go along with it. Murtaugh is now making his 6th appearance of the summer, and Henry, he's been pretty reliable out of the pen.
Yes, he has. Last time we saw him was against the Amsterdam Mohawks on July 10th, 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, but that's the best offense in the league. Not a bad outing.
That was in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Ponies dropped it 8-7. They would lose Game 2 as well. But the last 2 appearances prior for Murtaugh were great. He only allowed a combination of 1 earned run and 2 hits over 3 1/3 innings pitched. Zach Porter pops this one up into short center field. Griffin Crane, the center fielder, will make the play for out number 1 here in the 8th.
We talked about how much of an asset Crane has been on the offensive side, but since coming into center field replacing Luis Rodriguez, he has just been incredible for the Stallions.
He's made great catches. One of them was on 4th of July against the Utica Blue Sox, where the Stallions came away victorious 6-5. He had the final out of the ball game, a nice sliding play in the gap that sealed the game for the Ponies. Murtaugh fires in strike 1 to the catcher Ian Wirtz, who hits 5th in the Oneonta lineup. 1 for 3 here today. A single in the 1st to go along with a ground out to short in the 4th and a strikeout that ended things in the 5th.
You know, that July 4th game, that's really the first opportunity we got to get a look at Crane. And he came in the final inning, just comes out of nowhere, makes a Superman diving catch. And we're like, who is this guy? And really since, he's just been incredible.
Crane played his college ball this past spring at Louisville, where he got to go to Omaha with George Baker, who's playing first for the Ponies. Louisville was knocked out in the College World Series and finished 3rd up at Omaha. Matt Murtaugh fires and misses upstairs. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That'll be something to keep an eye on if he takes on a bigger role with Louisville in the future. Really one of the powerhouses of college baseball.
For a team this past spring that was the top team in college baseball. The 1-2 pitch from Murtaugh. Foul tipped out of the glove of Sanchez, nearly strike 3. And that would have been the first for Murtaugh here today. But, Henry, the strikeouts have been the way of out for Stallions pitchers. Dertinger had 3 over 4 innings pitched for him. And then Greg Bruno had 4 in his 3 innings of work.
Yeah, and that was really impressive. How Bruno came in instantly, strikeout. You know, reached on error, wasn't his fault, strikeout, and then keeps on going.
And there is strikeout number 1 for Murtaugh. He follows the fastball up with a breaking ball. He gets Wirtz swinging for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. Matt Murtaugh doing a nice job of picking up where Bruno left off. 3 innings pitched here tonight was the longest for the right-hander committed to Seton Hall, and he did a great job. Only allowed 1 earned run here at Cantine on Ethan Conrad night after he was selected 17th overall in the first round of the MLB draft. First pitch from Murtaugh to Lorenzo Camilleri, misses upstairs, 1-0. Camilleri is one of the newer additions to the Outlaws, this being his 5th game as an Oneonta player. Tonight, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked back in the 4th. Swings and misses there for strike 1. Camilleri comes into tonight with only 1 hit and 10 at-bats. But this Oneonta team really as a whole, Henry, has struggled. They only average nearly 6 hits a night, which is 14th in the PGCBL, and they're 14th in the PGCBL in runs as well.
Things were kind of going wrong from the get-go for the Outlaws since the season began, and a lot of it has kind of not been their fault. You know, they had a lot of games canceled. I talked about it earlier, a lot of players left, and now they're just stuck here in the bottom of the division. Camilleri
goes swing and a miss for strike 2. Matt Murtaugh 1 strike away from back-to-back strikeouts and a 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th. In what's been nearly 2.5 hours so far. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball on the inside corner, painted for strike 3. Second strikeout for Murtaugh of the inning, and now second time where Lorenzo Camilleri has gone down looking in the ballgame. 9th strikeout for Stallions. Pitcher sends the offense to the batter's box in the bottom of the 8th. Score still remains 6-1. Welcome back. Nick Zuppi alongside Henry Hipschman. Bottom of the 8th, Matt Murtaugh comes in the top half in relief of Greg Bruno and throws a perfect inning, a fly out to center field, and then back-to-back strikeouts ended his work. Matt Murtaugh now has 2 strikeouts here today, 9 total for the Stallions pitching staff for a team that averages just around 7 per game, and they still have a whole other half inning to play. But the offense now has to continue what they've been doing all night. They have a hit in 6 straight innings, but only a run in 3 of those. They scored 2 runs in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. Back-to-back zeros in the 6th and 7th. And George Baker, the number 4-hole hitter in this Stallions lineup, leads things off here in the 8th. First pitch from Cole Waterman is a big breaking ball in the outside corner. 4 strike 1.
But the way Baker's been swinging that bat with all that power, I feel like he's just 1 pitch away here tonight from knocking it out of the park.
Cole Waterman toes the slab for Oneonta. His 2nd inning of work is right now. He pitched a scoreless 7th, making his PGCBL debut, and he hits Baker on the leg, and the Stallions have a leadoff runner. That sets up Mike Levinson, who comes in for Jamie Z. Mike Levinson pinch hit for Jamie Z. Back in the 5th inning.
He's still looking to kind of find his stride, just joining the team. 4th game, 3 games started tonight. Coming in to replace one of the better players on the team who has just been a little bit banged up, and so he's put in kind of a pressured situation.
In an 0-1 count against Cole Waterman, the southpaw for Oneonta fires a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Levinson now is having his 2nd at-bat. He follows Jamie Z, who went 0 for 2 here today. The plate started at second base, had a pop out to the pitcher in the 2nd, and he struck out in the 4th, but Levinson had a ground ball over to short in the 6th. Lines this one over the head of Robinson at 2nd. It will fall for a base hit. Baker hits 2nd and heads for 3rd. Richards' throw over there is offline and rolls past the 3rd baseman, allowing Levinson to reach 2nd base on the overthrow. Ponies are in business. Runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out for Dylan Passo.
And just like that, 2 runners in scoring position for the Stallions, who, they'll go quiet for a few innings, hibernate a little bit, and then just come alive.
Dylan Passo here today had a big double in the 4th inning. He came around to score in that inning as well after Ryan King followed him up with a double of his own. Oneonta does not bring the infield in. Down 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Passo takes upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Cole Waterman making his PGCBL debut for the Outlaws, The southpaw stands 6'3", 200 pounds. The 1-0. Put in play over to the shortstop. It will be caught there. Nice play by Carrera to keep the runners at bay. 1 out in the inning.
Exactly the kind of play the Outlaws need in that situation. Just no way Baker can get off 3rd, tag up, and head home. So they keep them scoreless for now.
An interesting approach by the Outlaws. They don't bring the infield in a 6-1 ball game. They allow to keep it back, and it pays off. A blooper to the shortstop Carrera is caught, whereas if the infield were in, that would have fell and scored 2 runs for the Stallions. Regardless, Ryan King now steps in for his 4th plate appearance as he lines one into the right center gap. Going back on it is Richards. It will roll all the way to the wall. Baker jogs home. Levinson jogs home as well. Ryan King has his 2nd RBI double of the game. This one scores 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 8-1 Ponies in the 8th. Ryan King doing a great job of driving the baseball. He had a double to left center, now a 2 RBI double into right center. A guy who's just getting hot at the right time. 6 on the season now, which ties him for 2nd most on the team with Dylan Passo and Travis Hobbins-Siefkin.
And now that's the 6th double of the night for the Stallions, who are just extra base hitting machines.
First pitch to Comiskey, misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
The 1-0 to Comiskey is a high fly ball out into center field. Richards goes back on it. He will make the play. Tagging from second is King. Richards' throw over there is not in time and slightly up the line as well. Productive out from Comiskey, advancing King 90 feet to third with 2 outs in an 8-1 ball game.
Now, this is where the Stallions kind of thrive in these 2-out situations. We've seen them develop hit after hit, but struggle to bring in runs. If they can keep this going, they're 3 runs away from a run rule.
Logan Sanchez steps in with 2 outs in the inning. The Ponies have now had 7 straight innings with a hit. They have 13 on the game. First pitch to Logan Sanchez is popped foul. Camilleri, the first baseman, on the 0-1 from Waterman, misses outside, 1-1.
You know, we've seen his role with the team kind of decrease a little bit in the fast month or so as more players join the roster, but when he does get an opportunity to be a part of this order, he makes the most of it.
The 1-1 pitch misses low in the dirt, 4-2. Nice block from Wirtz behind the plate to keep King at third. But Henry, we're going to go back to Ryan King. 2 different RBI doubles here today, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 8th, and here that latest swing scored 2 to go along with a walk where he scored a run as well. He's got to be the player of the game.
He's looking like it, and he's a big reason for this success tonight, and I know a lot of batters have been great at the plate for the Stallions, but he's certainly been the top.
Sanchez takes upstairs, now 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Stallions need only 3 more runs for a Mercy Rule victory, but they need 3 defensive outs for a victory in 9 innings as well. The 3-1 from Waterman is a line drive down the left field line, right at Rodos, positioned perfectly to make the play on Sanchez, robbing him of an extra base hit and an RBI as well. But regardless, the Stallions plate 2 on 1 swing, courtesy of a Ryan King 2 RBI double. We're going to the top half of the 9th. Stallions need 3 outs for the win. Three more outs defensively for the Ponies, and they pick up their 20th win of the season. Matt Murtaugh has the responsibility of doing that. He will be greeting hitters 7, 8, 9 in the Outlaw lineup. But Henry, we got to go to the bottom of the 8th. Ponies score 2 runs on 1 swing. Ryan King, a 2 RBI double into the right center gap. He nearly had a triple, but stopped at second, didn't want to push things. He's been awesome tonight.
Yes, he has, and he's been awesome since he's joined the Stallions. 14 games, .333 batting average. That's the second highest on the team, only behind Cameron Carroll. A great addition for this Stallions offense.
The Rhode Island product slugged .875 for the Rams this past spring, and coming into tonight, he picked up right where he left off, slugging above .430. Murtaugh misses low, 1-0. Owen Burnsworth leads things off for the Outlaws, 7-8-9 due up for Oneonta. To this point, he's 0 for 3. He grounded out to short in the second, where Maroney made a nice play on it. Swings and misses for strike 2. His other 2 at-bats were a strikeout in the 4th and a ground ball back to the pitcher, Bruno, in the 6th. The 1-1 for Murtaugh, misses outside, 2-1.
The Stallions with a win become only the second team in the East with 20 wins on the season, joining the division-leading Amsterdam Mohawks. So despite how easy tonight's win might have come, it's still a big one.
The wind, the kick, the pitch from Murtaugh. Check swing from Burnsworth. Did he go around? No, he did not. So now it will be 3-1. And Henry looking around at the PGCBL East tonight. The Mohawks did win against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 8-0 in a final of 8 innings. So they still are 5 games ahead of the Ponies in from first to second. As Murtaugh gets Burnsworth swinging for strike 2, but the Mohawks winners of now 4 in a row. Mohawk Valley, losers of back-to-back games, they now sit 8 games back of first place of Amsterdam, a team who was almost in first about 3 weeks ago. Burnsworth goes down looking for strike 3. Third strikeout of the game for Murtaugh, and 3 straight strikeouts since he came in the 8th as well. 1 out, top of the 9th.
The beauty of the PGCBL season, 2 weeks can make all the difference, and that's good for the Stallions, who were struggling just a few weeks ago, but now have found themselves to be one of the best offenses in the league.
And Henry, as well as the Mohawks beating the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs to give the Stallions a little cushion for second, the Utica Blue Sox defeated the Boonville Lumberjacks as well, 12-7. So Boonville drops to 7.5 games behind the Amsterdam Mohawks. With a win here tonight, the Stallions would sit 5 games behind the top spot. Murtaugh fires in a strike, now 1-1. But the whole point of this is, Henry, the Stallions are solidifying themselves as the second-place team in the PGCBL East.
And that's important as we get closer and closer to playoff time for the PGCBL, where the Stallions hope to overcome what will most likely be the top team, the Mohawks.
Big swing and a miss from Connolly there. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. To this point in the game, Connolly's 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked back in the 4th, reached on an error back in the 2nd, and hit a pop out to the first baseman Baker that ended the 6th inning. Murtaugh 1 strike away from 4 consecutive strikeouts. Came in the 8th of Bruno. Since then, perfect. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Breaking ball just misses on the inside corner. Count now 2-2.
Thought he might have had that one for back-to-back strikeouts, but like you said, just missed, and Murtaugh going to keep on fighting.
Murtaugh now has 14 strikeouts through 14 and a third innings pitched for the Ponies this summer. Make that 15. Murtaugh gets Connolly swinging. 4 straight strikeouts for Mr. Murtaugh out of the pen. The local guy going along with the local theme of Ethan Conrad night. Number 17 overall pick in the MLB draft to the Chicago Cubs. His high school teammate Matt Murtaugh shining as well. 4 straight strikeouts. 5 straight guys retired for Murtaugh since he ended. Ponies 1 out away from their 20th victory of the season. First pitch to Zachary Robinson. He takes right down the middle for strike 1.
They have this game tonight. They have a pair of games against the Glens Falls Dragons tomorrow, so a pretty forgiving schedule, chance to at least increase that gap between the Lumberjacks.
The wind, the kick from Murtaugh is upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Henry, you mentioned those Glens Falls Dragons. Stallions play a doubleheader against them tomorrow, a team that's struggling. 10-20 on the year. They sit 6th in the PGCBL East, 13.5 games back of the first place Mohawks. The 1-1 for Murtaugh misses outside, 2-1. But going back to this game, Henry, the Stallions pitching staff has just blanked Oneonta since the first inning. They only have 1 hit, and that was an RBI single from Zach Porter back in the 5th since the first.
Yeah, they've really come together as a really continuative unit, just picking up where the last left off.
The kick and pitch from Murtaugh is a swing and a miss from Robinson for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Matt Murtaugh 1 strike away from 5 straight strikeouts. You got Wirtz swinging, Camilleri and Burnsworth looking, and then Connolly swinging. Sets him up in a 2-ball, 2-strike count against Robinson. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Breaking ball to over the head of the catcher, Sanchez. Ricochets nicely off the wall. Count goes full, 3-2.
You know, if he pulls out the strikeout here, that'll be 12 tonight. They had 7 last night against Boonville. So the strikeouts just rolling for this Stallions team.
Marciano Neglia went the first 4 2/3. Last night he had 2. Heath had 5 in the final 4 1/3 innings pitched. He gets the win and the 4-inning save as well. Player of the game, Virgil Heath against the Boonville Lumberjacks. But the Stallions 1 strike away from the win here tonight. The pitch from Murtaugh. Check swing for Robinson. Did he go around? No, he did not. So after 5 straight outs for Murtaugh since he entered in the 8th, first base runner is the number 9 hitter, Zachary Robinson, with a full count walk. And the top of the order rolling around for the Outlaws. Kazuhara steps in for his 5th plate appearance here tonight.
Man, no one deserved that win more than Virgil Heath last night. Going back to what you were just talking about a second ago. And again, the pitching staff just continuing.
Kazuhara is 0 for 3 with a walk here tonight. First pitch to him is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 1. Uhara scored the lone outlaw run in this game. That was back in the 5th inning. Zach Porter singled him in as well, and an E6 from Maroney allowed Uhara to come around and score, who started the at-bat on second. Regardless, it's the only outlaw run here tonight. The 0-1 for Murtaugh, misses inside 1-1. And Henry, this Stallions team as a whole has just dominated the Outlaws all year. This would be the 6th completed game. There is one between these two teams where it's in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stallions lead 4-1 with a run differential of now 55-14.
It's unfortunate that this has kind of been the story with every team, though, this season against the Outlaws. Not a pass-through game, but a game where they can rest big players and still count on a win.
Stallions had to use 3 pitchers here tonight. Murtaugh is the 3rd, 1 strike away from giving the Stallions their 20th victory of the season. The 1-2 pitch to Uhara, breaking ball in there, 4 strike 3. Matt Murtaugh's 5 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work. Ponies combined for 12 on the game. Henry, it's a game that was just a domination all around for the Stallions. 8-1 victory, 13 hits, domination.
You know, the offense was incredible throughout the night, but the credit has to be given to the pitching staff, providing the cushion and the ability for this offense to find their footing throughout the game and really get going without feeling the Outlaws on their heels.
Stallions pick up their 20th win of the season. Next broadcast for you from the Stallions Broadcast Network is tomorrow, a doubleheader. First game against the Glens Falls Dragons is slated for 4:15 against the 6th place Dragons. We'll have coverage for you right here from Cantine with a 4 o'clock Archtop Fiber pregame show. A couple thank yous to hand out before we go. My partner, Henry Hitchman, producer, Bella Holleran, sideline reporter, Hannah Tempassis. I'm Nick Zuppi saying so long, and the Stallions win on Ethan Conrad night. Now enjoy some fireworks.